Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to Dragon Warrior 3 in a kind of a different way you probably have never seen before. My name's Ryguy3745. I'm going to be showing you this interesting version of the game. And alongside me is Ferran Burgundy. I think you're still awake over there, right, Ferran? Maybe. Hi, Thiago. Here. Okay, well. The flapping wing, yep.
But I can't exactly hear anything. I was listening to the feed, and I don't know. I can't hear you in Discord, but I'm listening to the live feed, so we'll have to figure it out here.
All right. Sorry, we're having a little issues there with our audio. I think you're back now, right, Ferran?
There we go.
There we go. Hooray, you are awake. No, it's fine. It's just randomized. Just randomized audio will be fine. It's not a problem.
The audio is randomized.
Yeah, everything's
Sometimes
randomized, right?
Sometimes you won't. And sometimes it's for the better, and sometimes it isn't.
Well, we'll see as we start getting closer to the early morning hours. You never know. All right, so yeah, we're going to be showing you Dragon Warrior 3. And,
yes,
ooh.
Panic again for the audio difficulties. Absolutely.
And as far as what's random, before we get started, just a quick idea of what we're going to be seeing here. We've got a randomized map. We have randomized treasure boxes, which ends up being pretty important. We've got random levels, random stats as well. Random weapon strengths and random spell strengths as well, which is going to be super helpful. We'll see that come into play. And we have cats. So that's always something we need at night. That's the big twist with this one, I feel like, is the cats. Let's see here. This game is usually run in, boy, I want to say, what is it, 6 hours, 6.5 hours, the vanilla version is. But tonight we're going to see if we can take care of it in just about half that, which is more a testament to the randomization than to anything else. So with that, unless there's anything else you have to say, Ferran?
No, just to expand on the cat point, well, I guess we can kind of get into it in the midst of it. Yeah, we'll do that, because there's plenty of time to talk, because we're going to be going at it for a little while.
Just a little bit, yep. All right, so we will get everything going. It's about to be our 16th birthday. Can I turn Ferran up? Yes.
You mean I'm not turned up already, as the kids say?
I think that turned Ferran up.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Ferran, you're going to be on random volume tonight.
I don't think I sounded any older than right in that moment.
You're going to be on random volume. We already determined that, didn't we? Sometimes
Yes,
Ferran will be very loud. Sometimes Ferran will be very soft. If you could yell into your mic a little louder, Ferran, that would really help us out a lot. Just maybe, you know, I don't think your neighbors will like it very much, but...
Yeah, I don't think neighbors or family members will be all that thrilled.
You know, you got to do what you got to do
10
for...
2 in the morning, and here I am shouting into a microphone.
Yeah, but it's about cats. They'll be fine.
You darn cat. No, that's not.
Interesting side note, I have a cat that looks exactly like the cat in that darn cat. It's very weird. Anyway. So I think we're ready to get going. Should we count it down? You want to do the honors, Ferran?
I think so. Since we're short on time, we'll go from 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, starting from 3. That's why we let you take this. That's why we let the professionals do this. All right, so we start off, and it's Mikey's 16th birthday. Side note, next week is Mikey's actual birthday. Not 16th, but actual birthday, so very timely. And on our 16th birthday, we are woken up at some awful early hour in the morning to go see the king. Just what you want on your birthday, right? To be woken up at, like, the crack of dawn. Happy birthday! And you know what our birthday present is? P.S. Did you notice? I don't know why it took me forever to notice it. Did you notice our hero sleeps with his sword and shield and armor? He was in bed with his sword. Why? I don't know. guess in case monsters attack or something. So on our 16th birthday, we get the present that every 16-year-old wants. The king says, hey, why don't you go kill the ultimate evil in the world? Does the king give us trained soldiers? No, he says, why don't you go to the bar? I hear there's people at the bar that can help you. Thanks. Thank you so much. How about those trained soldiers right here and here? Those guys, no? Okay, we'll go to the bar. He also gave us a random amount of money, which we'll be looking at in just a second, and usually make fun of him and call him names for the sad amount of money he gives us. What was the record for on? Like 3, 4?
3 gold, maybe 4, something like that.
Go save the world. Here's $3. In a bar full of people who can fight, maybe. King shaming. Yes, absolutely king shaming. Right, so we get our usual, well, I say our usual party, full of Dragon Warrior 4 named characters, by the way. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check out some item shops here. We have nothing. The king gave us 0 gold. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Major props.
Of course, we're in a marathon. That's never happened before.
We're joking that the king's eventually going to give us an IOU. At least he didn't say... yeah, he didn't give us an IOU there, but 0 gold. We're not going to buy anything. But I was looking at the item shop for a couple things. We're going to be very interested in echoing flutes, Wings the Wyvern for the moment, and then we are also going to be... Oh, there's an exciting turn of events right there. Was looking for items. Now, the way item strength works, to pause here real quick, all items are randomized, completely randomized, but you can tell how good they are based on their selling price. So basically, you see here, nothing costs very much. This is all very bad. Now,
oh,
this,
gosh.
yeah, this thing right here, this animal suit, this is the sort of, gem of the whole run. When you equip the animal suit, it turns your sprite into a cat, and the whole point of this run is to beat the game as cats. In the vanilla version, the animal suit will turn your sprite into a cat, but give you no defense. In the randomized version, it can sometimes be very, very good. You see that 5 next to it, though? That's not a lot of money, so it's not very good. Now,
so
what
it's rolling vanilla in that it's going to
pretty
also
much
give you no defense.
Pretty much, yeah. We will have cats pretty much from the start of the run, though. Now, other things I'm looking for, though, are things like this right here, the Snowblast Sword, which, thanks, King, 0 gold, I can't afford. Certain items have effects, will cast spells for you, and the spells are randomized, and that has nothing to do with the price. So the Snowblast Sword will not give me much attack power, but when I use it, I might get a really powerful spell, because all the spells are randomized. So that 4 gold might come in handy, but for now, King gave us 0 gold, so we're off.
Yeah, we can't buy anything.
Yeah, 0 gold's a little short. Now to get off this first continent, well, let's see if we have any spells to start. Actually, we might. Ice Bolt. Now we don't know. Ice Bolt in the vanilla game's not very good, but it could be good here. And Miss. Yeah, okay. That's probably can't fight these guys quite yet. I could have looked at a status screen. We could just try to kill something and see what happens. How do you do a time estimate for a randomizer, Shallow Thought? It's pretty much like how long an average run lasts, but you're right. Certainly sometimes it goes longer, sometimes it goes shorter, hopefully not longer.
Yeah, it's usually, yeah, you don't just kind of sit down for the first time and go, yeah, I think it's going to be this. It takes a lot of seeds, a good amount of data to kind of go, okay, this is around the average time, this is around the median time, and other math things that you do off-stream, because as we all know, doing mathing and streaming at the same time seldom goes well.
I'm just going to try to... Ooh, I see big numbers, though. I think big numbers are good. That's the most mathing I'll do. So the levels are also completely random as well, and you saw there Christo, our pilgrim, decided to pick up 11 strength and 21 HP. Seemed like a good thing to do at the time. Ooh, there we go.
Yeah.
Now, you also noticed there, I mentioned earlier, the treasures are randomized. You would definitely not find a Sword of Kings there. But we have the Sword of Kings. That's another one of our items that has a spell attached to it, so we're going to see if the spell's any good. Come on. Whoa. Well, there's Randomizer for you. What do we have there? A 40, a 2, a 198, and a miss? You don't get much more random than that, I suppose. And then we get 19s and
20s. That's running the gamut there.
Yeah, right. Everything you could want. Ooh, I like 17 strength is running the gamut and 27 HP. Holy cow. This might have just gone from randomizer to push A to win. I mean, game's giving us a lot of stats here. Yeah, usually for the levels, the two main stats I tend to look for are, of course, strength, because we like to be able to beat things up, and Cool. Haven't seen that one before. Look, we got the red arrow at the top there. I don't know. Okay. I guess I'm not casting spells. Weird.
We're getting all the things that...
all this, yeah. Yeah, terrible cat suit, but we've got all the stats to go with it, so that's good. Oh. Well, you know what? Let's go, yeah. Let's go talk with our king and go... There's Randomizer for you. Sure.
Now I'm seeing it. Little behind on the feed, so there's the Blizzard Breath.
Yep. The Magician would not normally have that. That, of course, is. So, just like we can be blessed with spells that do more damage than they should, the enemies can also get abilities that do more damage than they should as well. So, that's what happened to us there. The good news is, I believe we should have enough cash to go get ourselves catted up. Is cat a verb? Nah, it's okay. We don't need to worry about... We don't need to worry about magicians. We won't be seeing them too much.
You're heading over to get your feline fitting.
Feline fitting, yes, there we go. Yep, half my goal, but part of the good news, the animal suit being so cheap and so bad, is that I don't need much gold for them. So here we go. We'll turn out... Oof. That defense power, though. Thought the leather armor was bad. Oh, there. Wait until the animal suit comes in. But it makes us adorable little kitties.
And there we go. We're 7 minutes in. I knew it was going to happen. Thank you, High Spirits. This run is a catastrophe.
Now we've only died once. That's hardly anything in Randomizer.
Oh, no, I was wondering how long it was going to take for the cat puns.
Alright, yeah, so we're cats, that's good. We have a lot of stats. We have a lot of HP, which is good, because we don't have a whole lot of defense, so... Yeah, but HP is another nice one to get, because HP is one of the things you can't really fix. If we have bad strength... Oh, we don't have bad strength, though. If we have bad strength, we can go out and find a big weapon or something like that, but... you know, if you have low HP... Eventually, Zoma's going to be... when we get to Zoma, our final boss, he's just going to smack us away regardless of what our strength is. So having the HP to survive is always nice. And it looks like we have all the stats. So our little kitties are very strong. Perfectly. Oh man, I don't know. I just saw a million cat puns. I approve.
We're going to be getting a bunch of it. Now... one thing that I wanted to kind of go over as we didn't do so in the offset, for those unfamiliar with Dragon Warrior 3, the unique aspect to it is that as the hero, well, you're kind of stuck in the party, but you can choose different classes, different class members. So in this case, we have a soldier who is generally your person who can equip all the different types of weapons and armor and whatnot, and usually has high strength and HP. You have the Pilgrim, which is kind of your white mage healing spell type character. And then you have the Wizard, which is more of your offensive spell or black mage for that sort of nature. Now, there are three others that are seldom, if ever, used, especially in these speedrun type things. There is a Fighter, which has a high attack rate and I think also a higher crit rate. But you generally don't see that they can only equip a very small amount of weapons as they're more hand-to-hand combat. You also have the Merchant, which they can equip some weapons, but occasionally they will find gold after a battle. And then there is the Goof-Off, which does they kind of they're a wild card. They do some unpredictable things. But you can promote the Goof-Off to a little bit later in the game a character which we may or may not see, probably not though, known as a sage. And a sage is a spellcaster that combines the pilgrim and wizard spells. They cast all the spells.
Yes, the Goof Off is the only one that does not require the book to become the sage, I believe, right? Does not require a key item to become a sage.
The Book of Satori, which is an item that can be found in a particular tower, but here in the randomizer, it can be sold as well.
Calamity, nice. Did one slime just get hit for 8k? The Sword of Kings has Infernos, I believe, or Infermost, which is a very variable spell, and apparently is even more variable in Randomizer, so maybe. I sort of sped through it. It got hit for enough to go away. Yeah, the fighter, I think in the regular vanilla speedruns, the fighter might be used from time to time, or there's some sort of class change into the fighter or something, but because the equipment's randomized, I kind of prefer to go with the soldier because there's more stuff the soldier can equip, and so more chances you'll get something really, really good for the soldier to equip, whereas the fighter has less stuff they can equip, so less chance of getting something really, really good. As far as why to run this, I mean, part of it's because it's funny. There's definitely a funny factor, especially the end. The end is amazing. But also, I feel like it just adds a little bit of a touch of extra challenge, especially in seeds like this, where, you know, if you have random everything and you have super high stats, but now suddenly you have to use a piece of armor that's not all that great. It's a little something to maybe give a bit of challenge back, especially in seeds like this, where I've got all the stats you could ever want. At least there's a little bit of a handicap there, so. And plus, the cats are just so darn cute.
Oh wow, the Staff of Force, not very valuable.
Not very forceful, no. Yeah, the unfortunate part with these settings here is that weapon strength is tied into price. So not only is it useless as far as like having low attack power, don't want to equip it, but it's not like I'm gonna be able to go to a shop and sell it for much. So it's pretty much nothing. And I think I promise wasn't gonna math too much, but a lot of those numbers seem to be very high.
Yes.
That's the most math thing I'll go into there. High spirits with the revealing swimsuit percent. That's the other sprites. There's two sprites in this game that, in the vanilla version of this game, there's the cat sprite we see here, and there's a revealing swimsuit, which will put, which when you equip it on your female sprites, they will start wearing a bikini, and they will also wink in a way that I find strange. So we go with the cats.
It was acceptable in the early 90s. It was acceptable at the time.
Well, I just mean, who's wandering through towers full of monsters winking? Like, I mean, I don't know. Well, that said, we've got cats wandering through, so wandering through dungeons full of monsters, so I suppose. Let's see.
Well, you know how cats are. They come and go as they please.
They definitely do. Right, so we're on the. So as far as what we're trying to do, oh, that's not nice of you. Ooh, okay, we're trying to survive. We're gonna barely survive here. So what we're trying to do overall is we are trying to get to Baramos, and to get to Baramos, we need the assistance of a legendary bird. And to awaken that bird, we need to find 6 orbs, and those orbs could be anywhere in the world. Ooh, a falcon sword. So we're looking for those, but more immediately, we need to get off this first continent. This first continent is fairly small and has a few treasures, but not as many as all the other continents do. So to get off this continent, we need a thief's key, which I found earlier in the basement of this place. Ooh, there's another key item, which we'll get to in a second. And we need a magic ball. And those two will gain us access to a cave that will take us to our next continent. So I've got the thief's key, and now I'm just climbing this tower, hoping to find the magic ball. It is guaranteed to be somewhere on this first continent. We still have a couple other locations to check. So we'll get that magic ball, and we'll move along here. Uh-oh. Whew. We have to have the magic ball to get off the first continent, so if I were to, I don't know, do something awful like die here, we'd have no choice but to reclimb the tower. There's nowhere else to look for on this first continent. The first continent is just the cave and this tower, so it's up here. Hopefully we can make it. Okay. Uh-oh.
There were no heal spells outside of battle. I saw there was heal all.
Yeah, I guess I could do something like heal in battle, huh? Let's see, do we learn anything out? Oh, we do have healing outside of battle. How helpful. Well, not on the dead guy. That's not going to be good. That's the other sort of weird thing about this randomizer, that spells you know in battle are different from the spells you know outside of battle. So just because you know something in battle doesn't necessarily mean you can cast it outside of battle. But it does look like Christo picked up a healing spell outside of battle somewhere in there as I was getting pummeled. So we will. There's our magic ball. Three cats and a ghost. Well, it's a ghost. It's not a ghost cat, is it? I'm just gonna try to do so. Yeah. Alright, so we'll talk to this guy to get an item from him. This is the guy that usually gives you the Thief's Key, but here he's going to give us an Iron Mask. Alright. He gives a random item in this. And, yeah, I mean, it's a little defense. So let's see.
It sounds like coming this fall to Netflix. 3 cats and a ghost.
Do the 3 cats try to, like, prop the ghost up and pretend like he's alive and all that, or is that not? Is that a different?
I don't know. We just got the title. I don't have anything as far as Apprentice. To answer the question, chat, this was on the original 8-bit Nintendo Entertainment System, or over in Japan, it was the Famicom.
Okay. So we are going to do, I guess we should revive our characters, and I saw the little tile for the cave that takes us to the second continent, so we'll heal up and we'll head over there. As Z-Man points out in chat, about 20 minutes. That's kind of how this always goes. For whatever reason, this first continent seems to almost always take 20 minutes, regardless if you die a lot or never die. Think you're going fast, think you're going slow, it doesn't really matter. So you always spend 20 minutes on this first continent no matter what you do. 2 babbles and 2 babbles, yes. Aside from being sort of weird, it's slightly annoying because some things like the Sword of Kings will only attack certain groups. So when they call it 2 babbles and 2 babbles instead of 4 babbles, you can only Sword of Kings 2 at a time instead of 4. So it's a little, put them together, but... Game does what the game
has it
wants.
right there in chat. The ghost is moral support.
Support. Alright, we're going to see our first instance of, I guess, if it's cats, you could say that they're using up their lives. But here, we need the magic ball so that we can burst through this wall. And our cats are not very concerned about standing directly next to an exploding wall. Seems like a bad place to stand, but... yeah. Oops. That is one of several. We may see the other ones. That's the only one that's required, but there are several other spots where things explode very close to our sprites. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can get rid of these magicians before they get rid of me. Oh. That was a very big no.
Those magicians are just ruthless here.
They are very cold-hearted. It's not a cat pun, but I think, Blizzard breath, cold-hearted. Anyone? No? No?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, it just wasn't funny? Okay.
They are... Oh, here we go. I mean, if you as a cat are the tigers, they were the Siegfried and Roy.
Oh. Well, there you go. One thing about this game that is a little bit... well, it's realistic, but also ends up being a little annoying, is that we have very limited inventory. So unfortunately, there's a whole lot of moving things around, especially once we start finding orbs and have to haul them around with us, too. It's pretty realistic, because, I mean, in reality, you're not going to be able to carry around... some of the more recent games, you know, RPGs, you can carry 500 things with you because of a, I don't know, magical satchel or something. It's a little more realistic, but also it means you end up spending a lot of time moving this there and discarding that, and who has this, and...
inventory management.
Definitely a thing, yeah. Said more realistic, but also... So eventually I found the leather shield, which turned out to be decent. Yeah, the bag of holding, exactly. The Falcon Sword is kind of an interesting... saw that brought up in chat. The Falcon Sword is kind of interesting. So here's a Battle Axe. We'll see if our... Trusty... Ooh, no, it's worse than the club. The Falcon Sword lets you attack twice, and that's actually a fair point. We should check and see. Interesting. Falcon Sword is one that it will allow you to attack twice, so sometimes it's worth taking the hit on attack power for it. Whoops. And I think this one might be. Maybe. One advantage we have is that our hero, Mikey's been picking up a lot of strength. A lot of strength. So we don't need him to have the strongest weapon around. And if he can attack twice, probably worth it. I'm still going to hold on that Sword of King, so I still use it to attack. And I may decide to go back to it. If something like the strength bottoms out or something. Okay, so we're coming up on the end of this cave. We are hobbling through. I probably should remember that Christo has heal, and I don't really have to hobble through, do I? I mean, hobbling through seems somewhat dramatic, though.
Yeah, until your party's wiped out.
Well, that's dramatic. Not good kind of dramatic, but that's dramatic. This Thief's Key keeps moving, by the way. Whoever's holding the Thief's Key seems to end up getting killed, so I don't know... I don't know if Mikey really wants to take that, but... Ghost can't use it, so... Alright, so we have arrived at the second continent, full of all sorts of exciting towns, castles, and treasures, hopefully some of which may be the orbs that we're hunting. Like I said, we need 6 orbs, and we need to find the shrine, the bird shrine. The bird's called Lamia or Ramia, depending on which version of the game you're playing. I believe Ramia was Famicom, if I'm not mistaken. Lamia was NES.
Yeah, that's correct.
So we need to find. So we need to find 6 orbs and take them to the shrine, the proper shrine, to get our bird. And again, the 6 orbs could be anywhere. So what I'm also gonna be looking for now. That was Nonnels, that town. Everyone's asleep there because there's a whole bunch of little side quests, would you call them? Like, they're not officially labeled side quests, but a whole bunch of little side stories, sub-stories about, like, that's Nonnels, and something happened with the elves, and the elves were upset with them, so they put the whole town to sleep. And in the vanilla version, you go and you find, you broker peace and get the Dream Ruby and such, and wake them up. We could do that. We're not gonna, but we could.
It's secondary stories to the main plot. How about that?
Yeah, and there's actually a whole bunch of them, too, that in the vanilla game you would have to do in order to progress, but, you know, thanks to randomization, not so much.
Yeah, the main things are get the orbs, get the bird, beat Baramos, and then go into things later that we'll delve into as we get there, and
yes,
beat
indeed.
the final boss of Zoma, and GG. That's
Celebrate
those are
as the world's most heroic cats.
Yes.
Okay, so another item that I'm hunting for, and it's not, well, we got wings. Here we go. Wings are, oops. Oh, I should barter with this guy so I don't pay like 10 times what I should for these things. So I just like wings. We don't have the, you know what, I'm just going to stop talking to him. I've overpaid for wings twice there. Wings are nice because we don't have the return spell yet, and I don't particularly want to have to walk back through that cave we were just in if I die. If I die, I'm going to get sent all the way back to our first castle, Lehan. I don't want to have to walk that cave again, so now that I have wings, I can just wing back here. Also, I'm hunting for something that you would usually not ever care about in the vanilla speedrun, vanilla run of the game, the Echoing Flute. The Echoing Flute will tell you if a dungeon has an orb or not, and you would never need that in the vanilla game because you know exactly where the orbs are, of course, in the regular game. But here, orbs could be anywhere, which is good because we could find a whole bunch of orbs really quickly. Or, you know, you could be bad because who knows where the orbs are. So the Echoing Flute can be very, very helpful way to find out, sort of deduce where those are.
Plus, it's a nice little tune, especially when it echoes.
The menu boss. Look, I only spent, let's see, what are 2 wings? 2 wings are usually 25 gold each, so 50 gold. I only spent 600 gold on 2 wings. That's only a tiny markup.
You paid 12 times as much.
It's fine. It's fine. I left a healthy tip. That guy is a friend. That shopkeeper is a friend. Left a healthy tip. Trying to support local business there.
An 1100% tip?
I mean, now to be fair, in this game, money does kind of grow on trees. We are going to find lots and lots of cash and have an awful lot of money to play around with. So, so at this point, there's a couple ways we can get off this continent. We already actually have one of them. One way we can get off this continent is to find Portoga, the island of Portoga, and we can trade in. The very first tower, I found the black pepper, and the king of Portoga is obsessed with black pepper, has to have some. Normally you have to go on this big side quest, fight Kandar a couple times, etc. to get the black pepper. We just found a treasure chest lying around some tower somewhere. So as soon as we find Portoga, we can get the boat and sail wherever we please. Or this cave I'm in now has 2 free treasure chests, which is why I'm here. But if we find a royal scroll, this guy will bust open a secret passage and also get us off this second continent. Now, I'm not in too much of a hurry to get off this second continent, though, because the second continent has a lot of treasures on it. So we could have orbs in the second continent. There's a couple other key items we could end up having to. We could end up having...
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Wow. And we could end up having everyone's favorite. This is just something yeah, there you go. You have to experience. You can't play a randomizer and not experience sacrifice at least once.
Orb.
And then an orb right next to it. Yes, indeed. So yes, indeed. So we survived sacrifice with, 4 combined HP on our characters and pulled an orb out of there. None of these things will... Oh, wait, there we go. We can do a little bit of healing. Now, the heal spells, you'll notice they are also randomized. So you notice the regular heal just healed roughly 100 HP back to Mikey. So it's a pretty decent heal spell. And here's all the locations down here that we're going to go hunt through. Wow! The treasure chest is trying to eat me. Wow! Okay, so we're going to look here and see if we can find maybe some upgrades to armor and weapons, maybe some... We should probably go revive our characters, too. Maybe that echoing flute that I was mentioning earlier, because there's all kinds of places here on the second continent that could have an orb. We found one already, but of course there could be many more. So the echoing flute does help save a lot of time. You don't have to dig the whole dungeon, you just know right away if there's an orb or not.
Another interesting note to the vanilla version of this, the overworld map is pretty similarly shaped to our land here. So this castle that we're in, Romilly, happens to be in a bit of land that kind of looks like a boot. Kind of a little play on Rome, Italy, that sort of thing. And there are a few of those throughout the game that you see.
Yeah, some more subtle than others, some less subtle than others. Let's see, Ragnar will get... Oh no, Ragnar can't equip anything anymore. So let's hop over here and sell some stuff. The Thunder Sword is another one of those that it has a nice... It doesn't sell for a whole lot, so it's not going to be a huge upgrade for Ragnar. He's still rocking the club though, so I mean... But it's another one of those that has... a spell attached to it, and the good news is the spell, I always forget what this boom maybe or something, but the spell that it has attached to will attack all enemies on the screen, so that can be a nice one to pick up, even if it doesn't have a whole lot of attack power. It can be a nice one to pick up just to, do some damage. And since Ragnar had the club, it actually will be better right now, but... And I guess we'll do this too. We'll get the Staff of Thunder for Mara, our wizard here. She's rocking the Cypress stick, so I'm going to, assume that that's better. Staff of Thunder is another one that can be used as an item as well. So even though it's a marginal upgrade in attack power, it gives us some more items we can use for spells that could be really good.
And yes, to confirm, the Thunder Sword does cast Boom when used as an item by the hero. The Staff of Thunder, by comparison, that casts Infernos when used as an item.
I'm so bad. It never says the spell name, so I'm so bad with the spell names. I'm just like, yeah, that item is the one that hits everything. That item's the one that doesn't hit everything. I don't know what the spell names are. I just know it'll hit and what it won't hit. Ooh, there's really good broadsword for later on in the game. Remember that. So again, when I see the 18,000 when it sells for a lot, we know it has a lot of attack power. So that's something to keep in mind for the end of the game. And we are still echoing fluteless. Okay. So I kind of went over the more broad ideas of what we're looking for. We're looking for the orbs. We're trying to get off this continent. But on this continent somewhere is a magic key, which is the next, which will open the next class of doors, I guess, category of doors, you want to call it. So I'm going to go hunting for that, and I'm going to go hunting for that in this pyramid up here. This pyramid, you certainly could have some orbs. I'm kind of hoping it has, well, of course I'm hoping it has an orb, but I'm kind of hoping it has the magic key. There's a couple other spots the magic key could be in, but hopefully it's here. Because there's a couple more, there's a bunch more treasure chests we can get a hold of once we get the magic key.
So yeah, there are a few, I'm trying to work on some of the questions that are in chat here. So yes, something like Bharat is the real-life Hindi name for India, and this game had a similar name, yes. The town of Bharatha is in or around what would be considered the country of India on the global map. But again, because the map is randomized, you see things all over the place here. This is the pyramids, which just happen to be north of the castle town, and I will preliminarily state that this is a name that did not age well, but the castle town of Isis.
Well, to be fair, you know, Egyptian goddess, right? But yeah, it did not age too well.
Orb.
It did have an orb, though. That's always nice. So even if I don't get my magic key out of here, I mean, hey, one orb down. Well, two orbs down now, right?
Two orbs down, yeah.
Two
we have
orbs
the blue
down.
and the purple orbs.
Yeah. The parry cancel bug is not fixed in Randomizer. I tend not to use it because I don't know, I'm not patient enough. I feel like I feel bad for the Randomizer. I don't know. My menuing is so depressing that it would take longer than it's worth. But yeah, I don't.
Column A and a little from column C, in all honesty.
Right. It's one of those where I don't. It is available in the Randomizer. There is an option to take it out. I guess I could take it out since I never use it. But it's one of those things where it's probably not necessary. I guess I could use it, but then I stare at my characters and go like, my hero has 172 HP on level 8. Like, we're probably okay. But that is something that, like, if it got really like dire circumstances where I had, you know, my animal suit, it's, you know, and it's negligible defense and really needed to, I could break it out, yes. But I feel like most of the time it's just not really needed. This Randomizer tends to give us an awful lot of tools to do well, so.
When would the animal suit have negligible defense, Ry?
I mean, I can't imagine why the game would think turning into a cat would make you defenseless. The game's clearly never lived with a cat that's mad. You try not feeding a cat for like more than, you know, you forget cat's breakfast? Oh my gosh. You know, that'll cause Zoma to go running for the hills.
Me yowza indeed. And with that, I think chat wishes that I had fallen asleep.
Meowza. So right there is the Mirror of Ra. That's a key item. We can use it later on to fight the boss troll. The boss troll will only give us access to one item. In the vanilla version, it's a key item that you need to get to start a giant progression of events towards towards an orb. But in this randomizer, it only gives us access to one treasure chest. Of course, it's possible for the orb to be in that one treasure chest. I've seen the orb in that treasure chest before, but pretty pretty low odds. So if we start getting desperate for an orb towards the end, we may end up busting out that Mirror of Ra to go check that one treasure chest. But in all honesty, it's probably just going to sit around and not do anything.
Alright, so if a character has a particular spell, now we noted that in and out of battle spells are 2 randomized lists. So yes, if somebody, let's say, gets Heal All in battle, they don't necessarily get it out of battle, and vice versa. They may not. Now, if, let's say, the hero and the pilgrim both learn the spell of heal, yes, it would be for the same range, as it's the spell that is randomized to the same thing, not to each individual character.
Yeah, so like the randomization, I would assume, happens at the beginning, and they say heal is going to be this good, and then anyone who gets it gets that heal. Uh-oh. So that was 2 uh-ohs there. First of all, the Archmage had some version of Kill Me. And Thunder Sword. Sacrifice. Oh, well, of course. You gotta be... Yeah, okay, Sacrifice. Sure, gotta be sacrificed. And maybe the more important thing there... I mean, the death is annoying, but we were kind of already done with the pyramid anyway. Maybe the more annoying thing there was that... or the more sad thing there was that the Thunder Sword did not do a whole lot of damage, so... It will attack everything on screen, but unfortunately not for a whole lot. So, it is going to be of limited use.
Question, can you accidentally throw away or sell key items? There are some that you can. Probably most notably the lower tier level of keys, the Thief's Key and the Magic Key. Those can be sold in the randomizer. Ooh. Explodette from the trick bag.
Yeah, that was kind of, I mean, on the one hand is sort of annoying to get Exploded cast, on the other hand, we got Exploded cast on us and no one even went green, so again, there's silly amounts of HP in play here. We'll do this.
So, I mean, there are some that, yes, you can accidentally sell the keys. For example, the orbs, those are stuck in your inventory until you place them on the altar a little bit later down the road.
Yeah, I believe, just because I feel like the pun is required, I believe the only key items you can sell are literally the keys. Not the final key, it won't let you sell the final key, but you can sell the Thieves and Magic Key, and I think those are the only ones that it lets you sell. I think our inventory is played with the rest of the key items for most of the game after that, so...
Thank you for the raid, and the 101 of you who are watching, is that Gyre's stream? Welcome on in here to RPG Limit Break, as we continue the weekend marathon of Side Quest, a Questing for Glory tale. This is currently Dragon Warrior 3 Randomizer, Cat Percent, being run by Ryguy3745, and I'm Ferran Burgundy, couching and quasi-hosting here. At least in terms of just emceeing, because that's what I do in real life.
Professional
Exactly.
MC. Okay, so there's one more, well, let's do the cave. There's one more place, well, there's 2 more places, but this cave is probably our next most likely option for that magic key. This cave usually has the Dream Ruby in it in the original game, that's why you come in here, but there are 12 treasure chests in here, so I'm hoping for, as always, orbs, but would not mind finding that magic key as well. Magic key's not here. Again, there's a couple other locations it could be, but this is the majority of the treasure chests left on this continent, so... We'll do the check for the orb. We still don't have the Echoing Flute. Again, if I had the Echoing Flute, I could use it and find out right away if there was an orb or not. But we'll make it more dramatic this way. Will the next one have an orb? Part of the reason it's nice to do this early, too, is that, you know, we have a couple weapons. We found a couple of okay weapons. We have, well, not really any sort of good armor. And so... You know, we obviously can't afford things like that 18,000 gold broadsword, but treasure chests are randomized, so who knows, the next one we open up could have a shiny, brand new broadsword for us, or something of, you know, of high power, so.
256 gold, you know.
Well, yeah, maybe that one didn't, but the next one. You never know what the next treasure chest could bring. And also another thing that's
important to say, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Well, we don't have to pay for these treasure chests, so it's not really. I mean, it's kind of not really a gamble per se, but yeah. Another thing
there are the fights that you can bet on in this game in casual play.
Oh, I am so bad. I am so bad at those. I never understand the monster arena.
Fight rings.
Yeah, the monster arena. Slime A versus Slime V versus Zoma, and Slime B will always win somehow. I never understand it. But another thing, too, is the spells are completely randomized, so there are a few spells we would like to show up. Things like Open, for example, would mean I wouldn't have to care about keys. You can just cast Open, and, well, it does like it says. It opens any doors. Return is nice, so you can instantly go back to any previous locations. You'd be guaranteed to learn these in the regular game, but here they just sort of show up randomly. And one that's already shown up randomly is Outside. And that's another reason why searching this cave is not so bad. I don't have to worry about getting out of this cave. I don't have to worry about walking back out of it or trying to death warp out of it or whatever. I can just cast Outside and, well, go outside. So that also helps to make it a little more... Oh, they did a magic key. Helps make it a little faster exploration.
There's a fair point being brought up in chat. The possibility of hitting a wow man-eater chest or wow mimic. That doesn't make it a gamble?
It's true, but I mean, I guess I could use the X-ray spells around somewhere. We could use X-ray, I suppose.
But it takes time, and
it does.
In a speed run, you gotta go fast.
Well, and it's always so much more exciting to just, you know,
throw a caution to the wind.
Build the drama. Will it be a mimic? Will it be a mimic?
Yeah, will it be an orb? Will it be a man-eater chest? Will it be a minuscule amount of gold? Find out when we get to the next chest.
Cool. So what is this one? This one has 5 more treasure chests left, so we will wander through and grab those. No orbs in this one yet, but we do have the magic key, which will be very helpful. It's usually around the time you pick up a magic key that, well, usually the final key, I guess, that someone decides, after you pick up the final key is a really good time to learn Open, so we'll see if picking up that key prompts anyone to get Open or not. I gotta be careful too, Mikey doesn't have a ton of MP, so I don't want to use up all of his MP and not be able to cast Outside. But heal's pretty cheap. I like this too, where everyone's HP is over 100 already. That's not even their max. That's not even everyone's max HP, but everyone's HP is sitting nice and pretty over 100. So that's very promising. There's definitely some seeds where you're sitting at level 10 and someone decides they think it'd be a good idea to have like 24 HP, and you know, even a slime can take them out or something like that. So.
And that's usually where you threaten to turn them into a sage.
Yes, yes. Class changing is still in this randomizer. And you can change characters in anything, and typically, yes, it's the Sage that you would change them into. And so, yeah, if someone's lagging behind on, usually it's HP, sometimes Strength, but usually it's HP, they get threatened with being turned into a Sage, so. But yeah, like you said earlier, Fran, it looks like the stats are pretty silly good here. We won't have to worry about turning anyone into a Sage.
You can class change once your character hits level 20 or higher.
Yeah, and the only exception, caveat, is that if you want to turn someone into a Sage, you do need to find that Book of Satori. You can class change anything else at level 20 without an item, but if you want a Sage, you need that Book of Satori. And that's the other thing, it hasn't shown up anywhere yet. We could go looking for one, but, I mean...
no need.
Yeah, we're pretty okay with these classes here. These characters are pretty alright.
Now, the one exception to that aforementioned rule about the changing to a Sage, you need the Book of Satori unless it is a goof-off that you're changing over. They can be changed to a Sage without that Book of Satori, but you have to deal with all of the shenanigans of the goof-off all the way up until they get to level 20.
Shenanigans is probably the nicest way I've ever heard it put.
Well, we're on RPG limit break. I have to use professional verbiage. I know that there are other terms that you would probably use on your own stream, but those are not acceptable here. Yes, a gadabout in the more recent forms of the game is the equivalent of the goof-off, but this was before they classied it up and turned the name into a gadabout.
Alright, last chest coming up on this. We're here. So we're almost done checking out this cave. Brave kitties have just one more chest to get to. So that's the Sword of Gaia, which is another key item that, if we find it, we'll definitely open up the pathway to it at least. But that can be used to explode a volcano. You're gonna, when we find it, you're gonna have to use your imagination on that one. But can be used to ignite a volcano, trigger an explosion of a volcano. The resulting explosion, the resulting eruption, creates a path into this extra dungeon. The extra dungeon only has 3 treasure chests in it, so most of the time we don't have to go in there. But I mean, the volcano erupting is just just embodies 8-bit 1980s video games so well that we'll have to view it. We'll have to check it out if we see it there. And plus, that also gets the Sword of Gaia out of our inventory, so that's always good. Inventory management. So sort of nice that as I was walking from the cave back to the castle town of Isis, it turned to nighttime because you can only get the items inside this castle's treasury at night. During the day, the guards just are, well, guarding it. But apparently nighttime, they don't really care. They don't really care to watch it. So now we can use our key to get into the treasury and check out a couple key items. I'm going to go get this item first from the Queen's room, which is not very good. We're looking around for some orbs. Now, I don't really need any progression items. I'm really looking around for key items and orbs. We already have the black pepper, so we can go directly to the next continent. But, I mean, there's 8 treasure chests here, and actually a 9th one underneath the underneath in the basement. So plenty of chances for orbs, plenty of chances for things like this, too. This giant shears here are coming up. Weapons or armor that might be better, because again, our equipment is not all that great. There's the giant shears. And the giant shears are quite good, so for sure worthwhile to come check those out. These next 2 here both have key items I don't particularly need, so I'm not gonna fuzzy up my or fill up my inventory. Fuzzy up. I got cats on the mind. I'm not gonna fill up my inventory with those. The Locket of Love will get you access to a shrine jail where you can find the Sword of Gaia. Well, sorry game, I got the Sword of Gaia on my own. I don't really need to go through all that separate side quest stuff. So the Locket of Love's not super useful unless I want a second Sword of Gaia, and like, nah. The Royal Scroll will give me access to the 3rd continent, but I have the black pepper and can get a boat, and I can sail to the 3rd continent. So I'm not going to bother with those. I could take them in other seeds. Maybe I would need to. Maybe there'd be no other way to get the Sword of Gaia. Maybe there'd be no other way to get off this continent. But in this one, I don't really need them, so we'll leave them. Nice of them to give me a spare animal suit there, too, in case I lost one somewhere along the way, but we're good on those.
Or accidentally sold or discarded it or something. So, for those just joining us, the reason that you see 4 cat sprites here is something of note from the original Dragon Warrior 3. When you equipped an item known as the Animal Suit, it changed your sprite into a cat. And that is the purpose of this particular quest, is to save the world as cats.
Yes, indeed. So, here's the wake-up powder I was mentioning earlier about, or it's coming up here. And I was mentioning that this is what we would need to wake up Nonnels, and in the vanilla game, you would maybe need to do this. Actually, I don't know if you need to do this in the vanilla game now I think about it. But here, I don't really need to do it, except that Nonnels has an item shop. And I don't know if it's coded that way or not, but I feel like the item shop in Nonnels tends to have echoing flutes a little more often than other item shops do. And we're still on the hunt for on the prowl for an echoing flute. So we'll go swing by Nonnels real fast, wake them all up, and see if they have an echoing flute for us. Because it would be really nice, again, to be able to know right at the beginning of a dungeon whether or not there was an orb in there or not. If we had to go and, if we want to go dig the whole dungeon looking for that orb, or not. So we'll make a quick trip back to Nonnels, and then we'll get our boat, and we'll move on to the next place here. Oh, I'm not going to have inventory space, am I? Inventory management here. Let's sell some of this stuff off. We've picked up a lot of, well, here you go. Here's the example. Here's a thief's key going away. We can sell that because we have the magic key. Let's see. The thunder sword we know is not very useful anymore. What else do we have? Oh, the club was... It's definitely expendable. Most of this stuff, let's see. Oh, wow. Well then. Let's hang on to that until we find something worth purchasing. I was thinking the broadsword's down south in that shop just down south, but Ragnar's got pretty good weapon already, and Mikey's got the falcon sword, which will let him attack twice. So I'm thinking I'm gonna wait until we find some big armor, maybe like a nice shield or nice helmet or something like that. We'll make room for that.
Training suit can be worn by a fighter, most notably, but also a goof-off or a sage.
Yeah, so if we were going to go for sage, well, I guess, in fairness, we would never use a training suit in cat percent because it will not make you look like a cat.
Exactly. But... so it is just, it's just some big bucks for you.
Yep. So if we, like I said, when we find something worth purchasing with that, we can sell that. But yeah, if we had a fighter, or if we were going to sage someone, I might think about keeping that and using it, but we're not going to see a sage here. Alright, so we'll wake up Nonnels. And see if they can help us out with some echoing flutes. Nonnels only has and they can't. Thanks. Thanks, Nonnels. Went to all that trouble waking you up. You just wanted to have little symphony, little music. To go somewhere else.
In fairness, they do sell a silver harp. So they do sell music.
That's fair. A harp probably makes better music than... Oh, that's not the right shrine. Harp probably makes better music than a flute. Well, I don't know. Okay, well, we've got...
I don't know. I don't want to get any flautists mad at me.
The silver harp seems more extravagant anyway, but I guess that doesn't mean it makes better music, huh? Right, so we've stumbled across the town of Kanav here. And if we make it nighttime, there are a couple of items we can go sneak out of the item shop. So we'll use Mikey's day-night here. And calmly make our way over to the item shop. Quick and quiet as a cat.
How convenient.
So the shopkeeper usually blocks you from getting in there, even if you have the key. But the shopkeeper's asleep now, so he's not going to be doing any blocking. And we're going to wander in and see what these treasure chests might hold. Again, they could have orbs, but usually it's probably just going to be more equipment or things like that. There's a Staff of Judgment for Christo.
The Wizard's Ring, when you use that, it replenishes some of your magic points, but it has a tendency to potentially break every time you use it.
Yeah, it could be good later on. Could be helpful later on, I mean. But we'll see. Like, during the final boss rush, if I use a little too much magic. But we seem to have really good MP stats, so I don't know that I'm going to be in any sort of MP crunch, but we'll see. And that Staff of Judgment actually turned out to be better. The Iron Spear seemed like it was pretty good for Christo, but Staff of Judgment's way better, so hey, we'll take it. We're getting a lot of weapons in this. Poor Portoga. Or Portoga. Portoga! So, well, I'll explain that as we leave it. So this shrine takes us to Portoga, and Portoga is supposed to be an island. And technically it is, it's just an island that intersects with another continent. Details. But we'll still walk into Portoga and get our ship. We're probably going to want the ship, so... I want to check the item shop here and see if they have an echoing flute, so we'll make it daytime so we can go look at that.
And going back to our global comparison, Portoga would be... I think you can kind of put 2 and 2 together on this, but for those who weren't big on geography, it would be the equivalent in the vanilla game of Portugal.
So, Portoga is where we can get our ship. There's also 3 items here. It's really funny. Now, we know it's not going to be this case. It's not going to happen here because we already have the black pepper, but the King of Portoga makes a big deal about wanting the black pepper, and it's really funny when it shows up in his own treasury. He makes a big deal about, find me the black pepper, and it's 1 room away from him. We know that's not going to be the case here, because we already have the black pepper. And apparently he's keeping demon treasure chests in his treasury, and not useful key items. But it's really funny when the pepper he so desires is just in the next room over. Give you a ship if you fetch the pepper from the next room across. Okay, sure thing. So nothing of real great value in that treasury, but we'll talk to the king and get our ship. And start sailing. Get some really great sailing music in this. I don't know why, I always like the sailing music. So now that we have the boat, we can go wherever we want to. Now, sometimes the boat's not really required because everything is on, everything just on the 3rd continent that you need. Other times, the boat likes to go in the mountains a lot. The boat really has a thing for mountains, I guess. So it's a good thing that actually Portoga is connected to that continent. I assume 3rd continent, but is attached to this continent because otherwise it might be a little annoying. So we'll go explore this landmass, and we will still have the boat. I can get the boat off there by just using a wing or casting return, but so everyone. So this cave here is Kandar 2's cave. There's a fair number of treasure chests in here, so we'll check out. No echoing flute, so I don't know if there's key items in here, or orbs in here or not, but we'll take a peek and see. The other thing about the 3rd continent that'll be nice is there's a lot of enemies worth higher experience in here. So it's a chance to kind of, we weren't doing a whole lot of leveling, wasn't killing a whole bunch of stuff because, well, it just wasn't worth very much. But now that we start getting the next sort of tier of enemies, we can pick up some levels. Here.
Plus, as far as the search goes, 11 different treasure chests to find here in this cave that's normally northeast of Baharata.
Yeah, so actually this is how you would get the black pepper in the original game. In the original game, you would have to come in here and beat Kandar and rescue a couple of the item shopkeepers from Baharata, and then when you go back, they give you the black pepper. Being randomizer, we already have the black pepper, so that's not something we need to do, but being randomizer, we might find some orbs in here, so that's kind of the hope now. We're pretty good on all of our other key items. We might want, speaking of key items, the final key is still looming out there somewhere, so wouldn't mind finding that. And there is another key item, the Staff of Change, which will give us access to another quote-unquote dungeon. That might be nice, but orbs. We're mostly on the hunt for orbs at this point. There's some other okay consolation prizes, but for the most part, orbs. And mimics! Mimics! We're on the hunt for mimics, always. Always want mimics.
A touch of sarcasm, as he said.
And what's better than 1 mimic if 2 mimics? It's always wonderful when when enemies call reinforcements. This is not quite as bad as it could be. A Mimic calling a reinforcement is annoying, but just wait until bosses call reinforcements. Then it gets real fun. Kandar calls a reinforcement, or Baramos calls reinforcements, and another Baramos shows up. Why kill one when you could kill two, maybe?
Less than ideal.
Yeah, well, the Mimics weren't too bad to kill anyway. They were alright. They didn't have any super bad abilities or anything, or didn't use them that time at least. We got some decent levels off of it, so I mean, it could have gone worse. Alright, so we've found, let's see, we've gotten kind of a bunch of encounters in here, but let's just use the... Okay. We've only seen 2 of the 11 treasure chests, but again, the encounters are good. We're going to want to... Now, we're doing a lot more grinding than normal, or at least I do a whole lot more grinding than usual up front here. Because towards the end, we're not going to see a whole bunch of fighting or experience or things like that. So, we're not going to kill the cats. You can't kill other cats. That's just silly. So we'll have to run away from those cats.
That's egregious.
It is. It is. Let's see. No. So yeah, this is where, I mean, it's not too bad. Again, we have the outside spell, but this is where, and we want the levels anyway. We want to get all of our levels up front because of things that are going to happen towards the end of the game. But this is, again, where you can sort of see, you can sort of imagine that the Echoing Flute to tell us right away, hey, there is or is not an orb in here. It could be very nice, but we'll make do without it. It's okay. Like I said, at least we have outside, so these checks don't take quite as long. I'm a cat. I'm 4 cats. This is a fun one right here. Metal Babble has shown up, and you guys may know Metal Babbles from the Dragon Warrior series. Usually very difficult to kill. But in the Randomizer, where resistances are randomized, you can oftentimes cast spells on them, and they work. So if you can find the right spell... this one took off. But if you can find the right spell, you can just rip through groups of Metal Babbles, and I've gotten upwards of 190,000 experience from groups of Metal Babbles before. So...
What's that all?
Yeah. So if you can find the right spell... speaking of playing the lottery there, play the spell lottery. You never know what spell is going to work. The resistances are completely random. Sometimes I think they have resistances to everything. But if you find the spell that they don't like, and you just tear through a group of like 7 of them, oh, the experience adds up very quickly. It's quite amusing. But unfortunately, we didn't find the right spell for that one in time. Alright, getting some more levels here, which is good, and getting our checks. We still have 5 treasure chests here to go. So hopefully one has an orb. Said if worse comes to worse, we still got some good experience that we're gonna need for later. Ooh, and another little Metal Babble. Ooh. Let's try a couple other spells. Mara does not have a whole lot of MP, so sadly, we're not going to get that many tries at this. I was really hoping to find some sort of cheap spell, but no. So, still no luck on the Metal Babble here. And sometimes, I mean, maybe nothing's going to work. That's also possible. They can have their usual resistances and nothing's going to work, but...
Door number 3.
Ooh. There we go.
Silver orb.
Silver orb, yeah. So that's really nice, too, because the silver orb... So the way this works, there are 2... I believe it's just 2 NPCs that give you orbs. But if you find the orb that the NPC would give you somewhere else, you don't get anything from that person, that NPC. The silver orb is especially nice to find because the NPC that gives you the silver orb, you have to go through this lengthy, long, annoying dungeon, takes forever, don't really want to do it. And by finding the silver orb, I now know that the that NPC is not going to give me anything, and there's absolutely no need to go through the long, lengthy, annoying dungeons. Not only is it one orb down, but it's also like confirmation that that long dungeon will not be required. So that's always a good one to find. These are sort of the last 4 treasure chests here. I saw the silver shield earlier and it didn't sell for much, so we're just going to let it sit there. So I'm going to go ahead, and there's technically kind of sort of one more item you can get. If you kill Kandar here, which he's behind this door, well, sort of behind this door. If you kill Kandar, when you make it to the town of Barata, the item shopkeeper will give you a random item, which could be an orb. Again, could be a good piece of weaponry or armor. And I feel like since we're here, might as well. Plus, we'll get some experience for killing Kandar, of course. We might as well do it since we're here. Odds are the item will not be an orb, but you know, we're here, might as well, right? So these are the shopkeepers that after you rescue them, they normally give you the black pepper. We have to save them here, so we'll go ahead and save them. And in Randomizer, they don't give you the black pepper, they give you some random items. So when we find Barata, we will see what that is. Let's see, let's get rid of that Kandar henchman, I guess. Orb! Yep, 3 orbs. We're halfway through our orbs. We're looking for 6 orbs to get through the first portion of the game. And the shrine to take them to. The shrine we need to take them to, so... half the orbs already in our possession. So this is called Kandar 2 because in the vanilla game this is the second time you'd fight him. This is only the first time we fought him here because we, skipped the first part. The first one is a cute little side quest about the a side story about the golden crown of Romilly and becoming the king of Romilly. It's actually very well done, but well, not required, so we just skip right by it. And here's the experience I was talking about, too. We got a nice little chunk of experience. Actually, that's not all that usually Kandar gives, or Kandar can give much more experience. But we're still getting a whole bunch of levels from it, and the numbers look pretty good. Maybe not quite as silly big as they were before, but still definitely adequate. And a whole bunch of new spells. All kinds of goodies. Alright, so we've defeated Kandar for allegedly the second time. Well, he says the second time, even though... Anyway. So we'll cast Outside. Again, that at least... Even though we don't have an Echoing Flute, at least Outside speeds us up a little bit. And, Castle. No. That castle has the Dragon Queen. That's where in the vanilla game you would get the Sphere of Light, which we'll see later on. Here you get a random item, and you got to open a whole bunch of doors and walk through a bunch of stuff. And it could be a good item that you get from the Dragon Queen, but I just feel like more often than not, it's not worth opening the doors. If we get really, really desperate for orbs later on, we'll remember that and come back. But I don't think I've ever seen an orb there. That would be highly unlikely that that's an orb.
Means that given that this is a marathon, it's going to be there.
So we'll be checking in there in about an hour. Yeah, okay. We're sitting on 5 orbs, and where's that last orb? Yeah, we'll check back in with the Dragon Queen then. Whoops. So this seems like a good time to mention how the running works. The running is just flat percentages. You have a 50% chance to run your first time, a 50% chance to run your second time, and you have a 75% chance to run your third time. If you fail those 3 times, the 4th time, you are guaranteed to finally get away. I point that out because there's a lot of misses there. 3 of them, I believe. So the triple run fail. Never get worse than triple, but sometimes triple is bad enough. Actually, many times triple is bad enough. So this continent is guaranteed to have at least Kandar 2 Cave. Ooh, there's Baramos' castle. That's good to remember for when we... Now, you see how we need the bird to get into Baramos' castle. Baramos, tricky guy, he figured out that if he puts a bunch of mountains around his castle, we can't get there. So we need that. That's why we need to do all this stuff to find the legendary birds we can fly in. Attack from above. So we'll be revisiting that for sure. And here's a little town over here. Oh, let's pick up some money first, though.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Yes, the trick bags. The trick bags don't give a lot of experience, but they give lots of gold. Okay, so here's Barata. We'll make it daytime so we can check out the item that we get from the people we saved. So we also can check the item shop for that elusive echoing flute. Although, I mean, at this point, we're halfway through. We're halfway through our orbs. Maybe we might even decide we don't need it, but
yeah,
we'll look around.
You're probably going to end up finding it by the time you've found all the orbs.
Right? That's how it always works, right? So no echoing flute here either. Wow. Inventory again. He would give me a random item, except my inventory's full, so we will get rid of this cypress stick I don't think we need. See you later. And we will get our quote-unquote pepper, which in this case is an iron apron. Yeah, might sell for a lot. Iron apron, I believe, is only merchant and might be it. Merchant might be it. So maybe it'll sell for a lot, but not something we're going to use. Oh, and it's a shrine, and it's the Lamia shrine that we were talking about. So this is where we take all the orbs to. This is where we'll get our bird later on. You have to place the 6 orbs on the pedestal. We only have 3 at the moment, so not going to be able to get the bird yet, but we can get a couple orbs out of our inventory, and we know where to take the remaining 3 once we find them. Kind of convenient that it's right near Baramos' castle. Once we get Lamia, we just walk outside and fly a little bit north and go attack Baramos, so not essential that it's near there, but I mean, I'm not going to complain. There's another shrine. Shrines become so much more uninteresting now. When you're exploring and haven't found the Lamia shrine, it's like, ooh, a shrine, ooh, a shrine. And then once you find it, you're like, whatever, who cares about that place?
Yeah, that's not helpful.
There is one more that can be helpful, as I say that. As soon as I say shrines are boring and uninteresting. Oh yeah, by the way, there is one shrine that does have 1 treasure chest for free in it that could, in theory, have an orb. But again, we're talking about, and it's pretty unlikely that it would be there. So, whoops. So we'll go check and see if this is it, and that is not it, so we'll be on our way. Three more orbs, 3 more slots, 3 more orbs. Here's a castle, and it is Dama. This is where we would do class changing if we needed to. We don't. But there is one good thing for it, is I accidentally walk out of there and walk back in. I can save my game here, so now if I die, I will come back here instead of having to go all the way back to Alihan. There is, as I bring it up, one more reason we might need to go back to Alihan. And this is something that I'm kind of trying to skip, but we'll see. We might end up wanting to search it. Alihan has a treasury. Alihan has a treasury, and it has 6 treasure chests in it. They could have an orb in it. You need the magic key to get it, so I couldn't have gotten it originally. Oh, hey. There you go. But if we start getting desperate, we'll go back to Alihan and check it out and look for it. What things are randomized? There's a whole lot of stuff that is randomized here. The map's randomized. The treasures are randomized, which is really nice because we can find orbs anywhere. So that's really convenient. And here's the shrine I was talking about with the free 1 treasure chest. And it's got a bronze shield, which might be good. The levels and stats are randomized, which is why we have ridiculous HP on level 15 and 16. Weapon strengths are also randomized. You can tell weapon strength based on its price it sells for, though. And then spells are also randomized, too. Spell strength is also randomized. So something like a blaze spell, which normally you'd go, what's the big deal, could end up being really, really powerful, actually. And then the inventory. There you go. There's more inventory. I want to get Critsto this bronze shield, and I've got to move a whole bunch of stuff around. I should probably sell some of this stuff. I was trying to wait until I found something worth buying, but at this point, it's getting to be so cumbersome. It might just be worth selling it and hoping I don't lose the money from dying. Okay. We'll progress on. But yeah, we have 3 orbs, and we're looking for 3 more. We'll see if we can find them somewhere on this 3rd continent. Ooh, let's not find them from these guys, though. Oh, metal slimes. There you go. Metal slimes are kind of the same idea. You can cast spells on them. Spells will work on them. You know, they have varying resistances. Metal slimes aren't worth quite as much as metal babbles. But, I mean, if these 3 want to... Oh, there you go. Get ice speared, for example. I'm okay with that. So we should have a nice little chunk of experience coming up here. Ah, 12k. There we go. So we've got a little bit of time for leveling. That's really nice, actually, because as I've been alluding to, and I don't want to ruin the surprise for those who haven't seen it, at the end of the game, we're not going to be doing a whole lot of leveling or fighting or anything, really. So these levels up front are really nice, and being able to get 12k experience, even though you have to sit through the levels now, yeah, it's really nice because, you know, like I said, towards the end of the game, we're not going to be leveling up at all. So we want to get our levels up front, and those metal slimes are a very quick way to do it. Metal babbles are quicker, but metal slimes are pretty good. There we go. Alright, so we've got... Ooh, no. Oh, there we go. Look what we found over there. Oh, these immersions seem like a terrible idea, but that's never stopped me before from trying anyway. They're worth decent experience, but they're usually really annoying to fight. And yeah, we'll just get away here. But this is... So we don't need to go in here. I'm going to try to skip it, but we have to experience 8-bit volcano glory. So in the story, the idea is that the Sword of Gaia, when you throw the Sword of Gaia into a volcano, there's our volcano right there, it will cause an eruption, will give you access to this cave here. So in goes the Sword of Gaia into the volcano. Oh no, the volcano is erupting. P.S. The cats are standing right next to an exploding volcano for explosion, for bad explosion technique. What, second part we've seen so far tonight? There goes the lava, creating the brand new path, apparently. 1980s 8-bit volcanoes. The random little patch of water down there, and just as fast as that, if we wanted to, we could walk over it and go into that cave. That cave is a Necrogrond, and that cave has 3 treasure chests, which we're going to try to skip. If we need to, we'll come back and check them out later, but we're going to try to skip them. Yes, you do lose the sword. Not a big deal here, because we seem to be okay on our weapons, but we do lose the sword. Yeah, the sword's gone. Save the cats! Save the cats! Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of times that's good, because we don't have to worry about our inventory being all messed up. But alright, so this is Lancel, and unfortunately, we can't do much here except look for weapons and that echoing flute again. You need a final key. There is a dungeon through Lancel, the Navel of the Earth. You do need a final key though to get through there, and I don't have a final key yet, or the spell Open. So let's check and see if Open has appeared. We got a bunch of levels. Maybe someone learned it. And 0 for 2. Nope. Return though. Return's nice. So I'm going to use Return. I'm just going to go check the Alihan Treasury. It'll take a little bit of time, but it's probably worth it at this point. So when I get the final key, I can go back to Lancel. I can return to Lancel now that we know Return, and I can go check out that cave, the Navel of the Earth, to see if there's an orb in there. But for now, we'll go look at the Treasury in Alihan, since Return makes it pretty convenient. 6 treasure chests here, and as always, they're randomized, so could be anything. And we'll find the key.
There's a yellow orb.
There's an orb, yep. Orb number 4, so definitely good that we got around to checking that. I mean, we're going to check it eventually, but good that we went there. How profitable is the Navel of the Earth? The Navel of the Earth has... So, in the regular game, you would only see 2 treasure chests because you just have the orb and the chest next to the orb. But the Navel of the Earth actually has 7 treasure chests in it. And being Randomizer, any one of the 7 could have orbs. In fact, you might have more than 1 orb. So there's a decent number of treasure chests in there. So it's a good thing to check, but you need to have the final key first to check it. So I can't check it right now. It's a touch annoying because you only have 1 character go in. Although in a case like this, where everyone has ridiculously high stats, it's not a big deal to only take 1 character in there. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. There's a cave coming up that we're going to look for, the Cave of Samanoa, that's much more profitable. That's the one I'm really hunting for now. There's a cave that has, I believe it's 26 treasure chests in it. In the vanilla game, most of those treasure chests are empty, or a handful are mimics, I believe. But in Randomizer, oh, you got 26 treasure chests, you can find yourself an orb or 3 in there. I think there was 1 seed I found 5 in there. So that's really what we're hunting for now. There's a couple other locations too. There's a couple towers and such, but that big cave with all the treasure chests, that's the one we're hoping to find. All right. Yeah, he got 5 spells, and I hopefully was hoping one would be return, or not return, I'm sorry, open. So you go right back to Lancel and open up, but nope, no open. So, also mentioning that final key, if we need to find the final key somewhere, well, the cave with 26 treasure chests in it is probably a pretty good bet, right? So, we'll see if we can get that. Thought I saw Repel somewhere. Just seeing that battle with, yeah, there it is. We can at least avoid the lower, smaller experience fights. We don't really need those anymore. The bigger ones, we still would want to maybe get some experience, pick up some levels off the bigger ones, but the lower experience, like, yeah, that, not really interesting, so we'll probably do some Repel. So we're looking for 2 more orbs. Again, those are kind of the only items we really need. Let's see. We've got, let's see, I mentioned, oh, there's a tower. Now, depending on what tower this is, one tower's pretty, there are 2 towers in the game, or 2 more towers in the game, I should say. And one is pretty quick, and one takes a bit. So without the Echoing Flute, without knowing ahead of time what, if the tower's going to have anything or not, if it's the quick tower, we'll go. If it's not, okay, so it's ARP. This is called the Tower of ARP. This has 7 treasure chests in it, and it's pretty quick, so we'll go check those out. The cave with 26 treasure chests is the one in Samanoa. It's the one you usually get the Mirror of Ra in. The king is, the story goes, the king is, well, the king's been taken over by a boss troll. He's a glutton, so he's got all of his treasure in his cave. Most of it's just, I think, little small amounts of gold or mimics or something. And the flashing on the world map, that was me walking through the swamp, so that was taking poison damage. So the red flashing was, I believe you get 1 hit point per step, maybe 2 hit points per step. But that was the swamp. One of the drawbacks to being poisoned in this game is when you're poisoned, it does that every step, and that gets sort of annoying. But fortunately, that was just the swamp, so we don't have to worry too much. Let's see. So we're going to walk across these tight ropes. Be very careful not to fall, but we're very agile, I guess, as cats. And 3 of the treasure chests are up here. That leather shield was decent, and Ragnar can certainly equip that, so we'll give that to him. It's going to be better than the nothing shield that he has.
Yes, even a minusculely defensive shield is better than no shield at all.
Yes. That is one of the joys of Randomizer 2, is when you have... In that case, I had no shield. But when you have a shield that's not very good and you pick up another one, you say like, oh, this shield's got to be better, right? And it turns out to be worse somehow. Randomizer has a way of oh, you really think it can't get worse, huh? Oh, well, hold on a second. You know, we make this worse. We can find you equipment that's worse than this. Don't worry.
Yeah, careful, we got you.
We can make this happen. Oh, we get lucky there too. So that's really fortunate, considering that, you know, there was no echoing flute. We didn't know ahead of time. That's orb number 5 already. So we're just moving right along here.
Yep, one more to go.
Yeah, so if we find that Samanoa cave with the 26 treasure chests, man, that feels like that's got to be it, right? Let's see what this town is all about. Oh, House of Pirates. House of Pirates is... House of Pirates has got 3 treasure chests for us here. You push this rock away and gosh. So maybe we can find an orb here. Only 3 treasure chests though, so less likely, but you never know. So no orb there, not really anything very exciting. There was a Shield of Heroes, but we saw earlier that didn't sell for very much. So... Yeah, cheese and error, because the equipment's all randomized here, and so I believe earlier in a Lehan we saw the Shield of Heroes only sold for like single-digit gold, so that's why I just wasn't gonna have much defense power. Yeah, but all the equipment is completely randomized. The only way you can tell is based on the item price, but so normally you have to test it out, but if you remember an item price, then you can use that to decide if it's worthwhile or not. Yeah, it rolled low, unfortunately. Uh-oh, there's the poison we were talking about. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? These hollow ghosts poisoning us. That's sort of annoying. Oh, here we go. And the Voodoo Shem with Infamous, that's not cool either. So we'll let them be. All right, where is now? This might be also. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, there we go.
Yay, antidote.
Yay, antidote. Yeah, so that prevents the screen from doing that red flashy thing all the time. The HP is actually not that big a deal, especially in this seed. We have so much HP. The HP is not really that big a deal. But the red screen flashing sort of annoying. And yes, cats indeed. Cats indeed. It's one of the little charms of the original game that Randomizer kept. And that we are showcasing tonight. So a couple caves here. Unfortunately, neither was the super cave of treasure that I was talking about, but this is the cave to Jaipang. The cave to Jaipang only has 1 item. It'll also let us fight an Orochi twice, which has a couple of items. Which has a bunch of experience, I mean. The Orochi also kind of comes into play later, too. In a little sort of tangential way, but a kind of cute little way. So we'll hear mention of the Orochi later, but we get to fight this Orochi. The Orochi has been terrorizing Jaipang, you know, the usual RPG sort of stuff. I demand you sacrifice people to me, blah, 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 you know, the usual terrorizing villagers and such. So we are going to go take care of that menace. And for taking care of that menace, we will get 1 item. We get 1 item in the cave on the way. And we'll get another item for taking care of the Orochi. So we'll get a little experience. We'll get a little, we'll get an item for taking care of the Orochi. But also, that dead-ended, or looked like it dead-ended. this will also transport me to Jaipang, the town of Jaipang, and we can continue our exploration from there. So that's kind of another reason for doing this too. We get some experience, we get the item, but we also get a new place to explore and hopefully find cave of lots of treasure. The Orochi Sprite is also very cute too. I feel like if you could get there's a weapon there's a armor in this game called Dragon Mail, and I feel like if the Dragon Mail made us look like the Orochi, I would run Dragon Percent a lot too, but it doesn't. You only really have the choice of cat, so. But you know, Dragon Percent would be kind of cool. I'd be okay with that. Maybe we can get that patched into the randomizer.
Well, wouldn't it be a little confusing though? Dragon Warrior 3 Dragon Percent?
I mean, no more confusing than cat percent, right? Is it worth it to class change? Sometimes it is. There are definitely many seeds that I have rolled where you get a character that is very bad and is absolutely worth it. In this particular seed, our characters all seem pretty strong, so in this case, no. But sometimes, definitely yes. Definitely can be worth it to class change sometimes. This also starts the beginning of the whole, like, weird thing with food. I'll see how you taste on a skewer. Many of the mini-bosses wonder how we taste, which... okay.
There's a little bit of, I don't want to say obsession with that, but there's a focus.
It's a little hard playing this game at night because anytime and I usually do run it at night, but it makes me hungry. So I end up munching I end up having extra dessert or extra whatever, like, you know, afterwards. This game just, taste on a skewer. I will feast on you. Feast. Skewer. Okay, so no real good item there, but...
Open-faced club sandwich. Oh wait, no, that was a Simpsons thing.
No real item there, but we do have Jaipang. We'll be able to explore outward from Jaipang, so... new location to go explore, at least we have that. Yeah, I guess so, right? Enix, exactly. The programmers Enix were very, very hungry. This is the town of Tendaki. There's one item we can There's one item we get during the day, and then at nighttime it literally comes alive. But we'll get the one item during the day first. And it's the Sage's Stone, so that's we'll get into that in a second. That could be good or that could be bad. We'll see. But Tendaki is this town full of ghosts, so you only get to talk to the townspeople or interact with the townspeople at night. So we'll make it nighttime so we can see what's in the weapon shop. Now, Tendaki is also where you would get an orb. We'll go see him in a second after we check out this weapon shop. But Tendaki is also where you would get an orb, and you would be able to talk to a prisoner who gives you the orb. I don't have the final key, though, so I cannot talk to him yet. I can't really remember if I've gotten the green orb specifically yet or not, but no final key, so it doesn't really matter. But there's one item we can search for under here. And it's like called out for it. There's the final key. So we'll go up and we'll talk to that prisoner, I suppose, just in case we haven't gotten the green orb yet. I probably should remember if we've gotten it or not, but we'll tell for sure right now. And let's see what he tells us. If he doesn't give us an item, then we've gotten the green orb already. If he gives us an item, then we haven't. And we've already gotten it. Okay. That's fine. That is okay. So we got the final key anyway. That's good. We can go check out Lancel if we want to. I still want to go try to find Treasure Cave, though. That cave that has 26 treasure chests in it. That is definitely the favorite for that last orb. Now, it doesn't have to be on this continent. A lot of times it is. Don't know if I'm seeing it, though. I feel like this continent's been pretty well explored. So unless I missed something on it somewhere, it's a pretty expansive continent. So maybe I missed a little arm of it. We'll go double check. Unless I missed part of it somewhere. This cave of lots of treasure might be somewhere else. Like on another landmass somewhere. Okay, there's that. Now this is an interesting little fight that I don't particularly expect to win. But we are going to see, in the endgame, we're going to see a lot of these granite titans. So it kind of is nice to get a, I want to say like a little scouting report, a little information on them ahead of time to see what they're like. They're probably, ooh, okay, they hit kind of hard. They're not very friendly. And did not look like the Sword of Kings worked on them either. Sometimes those items do work, and that's really nice when the, you can hit those granite titans with the Sword of Kings. We'll have to fight 6 of them in the end game, and by the end game we'll have a lot more levels and hopefully a little more everything, stats and weapons and all that sort of stuff. But they looked a little annoying, Nothing we can't dispatch of, but they looked a little annoying. Okay. Well. Yeah, I'm thinking that our treasure cave is not here. Not on this landmass, anyway. So we might have to go sailing around a little bit. I think I might head up here to Lancel and just check Lancel. That might be better than just sailing around. Lancel does have 7 treasure chests, so I mean, it could have our last remaining orb. Oh. Okay, so all the fights that we don't, really, they're just not worth all that much usually, so, And I don't know how I missed this little town before, but this is the town of Sioux. There's one item in the middle. We can check the item shop and weapon shop and all that sort of fun stuff. Yeah, so that's another thing I should mention too. The encounter rate in this game is silly. This is at... Ooh, look at this. Okay. This is at half encounter rate. This is set to only have half the encounters of a vanilla game. And yeah, it's already silly. So that's one way that's one sort of, I want to say, quality of life improvement that the randomizer has, is that it has less encounters. You can set it to have less encounters, and still it feels like it's a ton of encounters. So there is a very, very nice iron helmet there for sale. So we're going to go and, well, we have to clear up some inventory space. And we also need to raise a little bit of funds. I know Mikey and Ragnar can equip it. I always get mixed up if that's something that the Pilgrim can equip. The Pilgrim can equip some, like, I'm going to say heavier armor, but not some other ones. So I always get mixed up if that's one that he can equip or not. So we'll try. But I'm going to want at least 2, possibly 3 of those iron helmets. And that'll help make up for the lack of defense on our animal suits. So that is a welcome sight for sure. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so the iron helmet is one that our Pilgrim Christo can use. That's good. Mara's the only one that can't use it. I mean, I guess we could try and see. 99.9% sure she can't, but... Oh, she can't. Of course, she has full inventory. Yeah, when I see, when I see people, when I see people running doing vanilla speedruns and they're, maybe 3 steps away from a town and they take the time to heal everybody, I know why. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, even in the randomizer, when you have encounters set to 50%, you still get a lot of encounters. The encounter rate in the original game is very, very high. So, as a little foreshadowing, you won't have to worry about that for too much longer, though. Okay, so I don't know how I missed that town the first time round, but oh, and there's a tower too. Let's try to skip this tower. That's the long tower. Let's not do that. Oh. Cave up here too? Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay, we're at Kandar 1 or Kandar 2. I think I spotted a cave down here too. Did I miss this cave earlier? Well then. There we go. There it is. Okay. That's part of the joy and sometimes the frustration of randomizer and random maps is, of course, with random maps, you don't know where anything is, and you think you've explored something. I was pretty sure I had walked all around here, and I missed this entire little patch of land that has a whole bunch of stuff in it, so... There we go. This is our, 26 treasure chest cave, so if we need somewhere to find that last orb, this is a pretty good bet. Pretty good bet right here. Yeah, as was mentioned in the vanilla game, this is where you get, in the regular game, this is where you get the Mirror of Ra to expose the evil king, the evil fate king of Samanoa. And most of these have, like, little amounts of gold, or they're empty, or they have mimics. Oh, hey, look! That's an orb, huh? I do believe that brings our total up to 6, doesn't it? I suppose there's nothing left for us to do here, is there? Let's go turn the orbs in, and let's go... push onwards. Was by Barata. So interestingly, this was a seed where I don't believe the boat was even necessary, right? I mean, we got it, but everything was on this third continent. Everyone's on these continents. We didn't actually have to sail anywhere. And actually, Portoga being hooked up to this third continent doesn't usually happen. So usually you don't get that. Usually don't get that benefit, but our poor boat just sort of sat there. So now that we have all 6 orbs, we can talk to these people here, and this egg will hatch. We'll have ourselves a bird. Yes, the bird showing up for the cats. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? The bird flies, I'm going to zoom over the fire, but still looks like through the fire. The cats, well, they don't catch the bird there, but they'll catch the bird shortly enough. So we spent, the first hour 42 picking up those orbs, looking for the bird, and we're going to spend, let's see. We'll time it. We're not going to be on the bird for very long. We're not going to be using the bird for too long. Alright, so onto the bird. And we're off. Baramos' castle was just up here. Now, we're not on the bird for very long, but, I mean, there's no other way to get in there over the mountains and such. What was that, like 20 seconds? Was that even 20 seconds?
Roughly.
Yeah. So we spent an hour and a half or so collecting up all these orbs for 20 seconds of flight. Oh, man. Thank you, bird. That is the last time we'll see our bird, unfortunately.
I say, cats take care of birds quickly.
They do, right? Yeah, I mean, that's cap percent. That's not going to go well for the bird, right?
Usually.
So for the end part of this...
The game knows we're a little behind schedule, so it's trying to help out a little bit.
Right. So for the end part of this game, we're going to need some key items, and allegedly the key items here... I say allegedly because I've never seen them here, but I do want to check. Oh, there's the revealing swimsuit for... High Spirits was talking about revealing swimsuit percent earlier, so there's one. Yeah, the second part of this game, it's not half, it's less than half. But the second part of this game has some key items that are required, and they can be there. I've never seen them there before, but if one happens to show up there, it's basically impossible to come back and get it. So, yeah, I always go check it, even though I feel like it's very unlikely something's going to be there. I always go check it, because it's, we'll say a hassle to get back there?
It is not advantageous to do so.
Ooh, very not. Very not advantageous, yeah. This is also, so I've been kind of hinting at it, but this is the last dungeon we're going to see any sort of random encounters. We're going to start we're going to start doing some unintended things here very shortly. And this is actually a fairly low encounter rate area. It's low encounter rate dungeon. So you don't get a whole lot of fights in here. Yeah, we're pretty much done with fighting things. So we're just wandering through Baramos' castle. This is, of course, Baramos' castle, and this is the first of the people that we are supposed to kill. I guess technically we don't know that. At this point in the game, the player thinks that this is the final boss, but we know better. Alright, so we've got a couple more rooms to go before we get to Baramos. And this, a lot of times, doesn't go so great, but we'll try. Like I said, the experience, we're not going to get a whole lot more experience, so we'll see. Our stats are pretty good. 22 is kind of a little low, but not for Baramos, but for things happening later. It wasn't too much experience, but oh well. Forgot the step guard there. Step guard's not really necessary there, but I mean it's nice. Those barrier tiles will do either 15 or 30 damage, but okay. Basically done with treasure chests. We're done with orbs. The second part of the game is going to require us to look for some key items. So we're not really done with treasure chests yet, but we're done with the orb search, and it's much fewer treasure chests and fewer locations too. But that's really nice. The fairy flute is one of the key items that those enemies just happen to drop. So not only do we get some levels there, we get a fairy flute, which is one of our key items for the Dark World. So, okay, sure, I'll take that. That'll help out the second part. Randomizer is kind of funny that way. You're not guaranteed. I mean, you're guaranteed to find all the key items in the Dark World that we're about to go to, but you can potentially find extra copies in the regular world of Alihan, and we just found one right there. So, okay.
Makes the job a little bit easier once we get into the next part of the game.
It does. Here's also where I'm using the buy kill. Buy kill will double your attack power. It'll double your attack power, and the hero has the Falcon Sword, which lets him attack twice. So that is just that's gonna be a lot of damage heading Baramos' way. So that's another one that's very nice. So even though the Falcon Sword has a little less attack power, when you can buy kill and attack twice, it's totally worth it. So now that we've dispatched Baramos, I'm going to pause here for just a second and and mention what's about to happen, because we're about to have a whole lot of unintended fun here. So we're going to cast outside. At this point, the game is expecting us to go back to Alihan, and the King of Alihan's got this great party plan for us because we've defeated Baramos. Now I'm going to wander through these tiles over here just to show you. Our bird's gone. The game is expecting that we have nothing to do except cast Return to Alihan. So it doesn't want us to die before we get back to this party. So you can see here I'm wandering through swamp, but it's not giving me any damage. I'm not going to get any random encounters or anything. Now, in the vanilla version of the game, you have no choice. There's nothing in here. Baramos' castle's by itself. You have to cast Return to Alihan to go anywhere. But in Randomizer, there's this cute little tile right over here. And in Randomizer, we can fall into that tile. We can go into that tile. There we are here. And we can just press on with the game. So again, that's something you can't do in the vanilla game because that tile is usually somewhere else. That tile is usually on another little island. But we can just ignore the party in Alihan. Remember the king at the beginning of the game? He gave us 0 gold. Forget you and your party, 0 gold. Not interested in your party. I'm going to just progress on with the game. So basically right now the game is held in what I call a perpetual state of waiting. It's waiting for us to get back to Alihan. The king's sitting there like, man, these guys are late. The party's going to start. Where are these guys? Yeah, we're not going. We're ditching the king's party. And we
know the real job isn't done.
Yeah, exactly. The real job is not done. So you can see, you won't see, there are no random encounters. Normally there are random encounters here. I don't have to deal with random encounters anymore. Those are finished. And swamp tiles don't damage me at all. So, cool. Yeah, now what we would have seen if we had gone back to the King's Party, Zoma would have made an appearance. Now, actually, Zoma would have killed a whole bunch of Trumpeters, so we saved Trumpeters' lives. That is always there in the randomizer. That is always there. So yeah, you can always do that in the randomizer. Yeah, but we saved Trumpeters' lives. So as I go climb this tower here, this is, what would have happened is Zoma would have crashed the party, killed a whole bunch of poor innocent Trumpeters, whose lives we all just saved by not going to the party. And been told, hey, you got to go kill Zoma. Zoma's the real guy. He's really pulling the strings here. As I struggle to find the final key, and we go with Fairy. Fairy Flute's not going to open the door. Now, this tower, by the way, that I'm in right now, we do want to play the Fairy Flute at the top of the tower. Not so much the bottom of the tower. The key works better for opening doors than the flute. Turns out you can't open doors with the flute. But this is, now, you can't immediately tell because this is not in the original game and the map's all randomized, but this is the world of Dragon Warrior 1 that we have fallen into. The dark world here is the world of Dragon Warrior 1. So this is called the Tower to Coal. In a bit, we're going to go through and we're going to see a whole bunch of good old Dragon Warrior 1 locations. And since we have no random encounters, the creators of Dragon Warrior 3 did a really good job with this dark world. So we're going to take a little tour through it and take a couple stops and see a few of the finer points here along the way as we go through and get our key items and such here. So any of you are Dragon Warrior 1 fans, you played Dragon Warrior 1, there's a lot of cute call-outs to that and a lot of cute references and such. They did a really good job with it, like I said. Normally you just kind of fly past all of it and who cared, but we got a chance here, since we don't have any random encounters to bog us down, we got a chance here to go check those out. Yeah, we don't need a Fairy Flute right yet. Normally that'd be great to find a Fairy Flute. That's normally one of the key items that we need, but not so much here. We already got one. Yeah, right. Yeah, this tower has the most treasure chests of anything in the Dark World. I'm a little sad we didn't find more key items there. This tower can sometimes have, we need 3 key items to make a rainbow drop, which you'll remember from the first game if you played the first game. And we need a Sphere of Light to weaken Zoma. You don't need it, but it's highly recommended. And unfortunately, did not find any of them there. So we found the Fairy Flute, we already had that. So we'll have to go hunt around a little bit. This is not quite as bad, though. The Dark World is smaller. There's only 2 caves, so it doesn't take too long to go hunt for these things. But yes, our task right now is the same as in Dragon Warrior 1. We need to create the legendary rainbow drop. And to do that, we need a whole bunch of stuff. So we are looking for, we have the Fairy Flute already. We're looking for the Stone of Sunlight and the Staff of Rain, which again, you may remember from the first game, to create the rainbow drop. And then, like I said, that Sphere of Light to hopefully weaken Zoma. This seed, I have not seen this seed before. This was vetted by someone else just to make sure there were no quirks, no impassable quirks, and that it was completable. But I haven't seen it before, no, so I don't know where things are. But at this point, we're pretty much good. Okay, and like I said, this one tower, this is the least. A lot of the rest of the stuff in this Dark World will follow along with the Dragon Warrior 1 storyline and mimic a lot of the Dragon Warrior 1 storyline. Mimic. But this part is the one that's different. So this is the part that doesn't look anything like Dragon Warrior 1, but we'll start seeing Dragon Warrior 1 show up a lot more. So if you're familiar with that game, we're about to go knee-deep into Dragon Warrior 1. Okay, so we have our Sacred Amulet. That's one of our key items that we need for the Rainbow Drop. Let's start looking around for some other stuff. Well, here's our first town.
To answer the question in chat, this is the seed is randomized, and that is blind to the runner. The overall premise of the game is known. That does not change.
So this town that we've run into is Cantlin. And Cantlin is usually the shopping mall, what you call it, the shopping mall of Alifgard, Faran?
That's correct.
Yeah. Except here, well, here they are in, well, very timely, they're in a lockdown as well. They're very scared of all the monsters that are outside. So all the shops are closed, you can't buy anything here, but this fellow, who I'm standing next to as I explain all this, if we talk to him, he's got a solution. He's working on a monster that will protect the town. What should he name it? Those of you who've played Dragon Warrior 1 before know, Golem. This is going to be the Golem. Now, that also is probably your first hint that this is a prequel to Dragon Warrior 1. This apparently is set before the events of Dragon Warrior 1, because we know if you've played Dragon Warrior 1, you know the Golem is guarding Cantlin. In fact, no one can get in or out because the Golem, well, there's a guy who creates the Golem. So, nice little reference there. Whoops. And there's one other nice little reference, too. If you head out to the inn, you can find someone staying at the inn in Cantlin. Now, this stuff's not really helpful for the end of the game, but for progressing the game. But like I said, it's just nice little references they threw in. This is the bard Garen, and I went through that a little too fast. But Garen, if you remember in Dragon Warrior 1, you dig Garen's grave for the silver harp. Well, Garen's very alive, so there's no Garen's grave, and he says he left the silver harp at home. So there's a nice little call out to Dragon Warrior 1, and Garen actually exists there. So, again, kind of nice little things they did in the Dark World. They kind of hinted at being, and they'll eventually reveal the big reveal at the end. They'll have the big reveal at the end, but they kind of hinted at being a prequel and this taking place earlier. They don't specifically say it, but of course they drop hints. So even though Garenham doesn't really, or Cantlin, doesn't have anything really to progress the story, a couple nice little references there that they threw in. Remolder has one treasure chest, so I'm going to check out nothing really interesting in the item shop, just in case they maybe had some good defensive gear or something. There's the one treasure chest in here that you'll know of from the vanilla game too. Yeah, exactly, this is good old Remolder. Now, if you played Dragon Warrior 1, you raided that treasure chest. The speedrun uses that a lot. I believe you get wings in there. This poor fella, I love this. Oh no! Will someone steal the baggage you left at the inn? No. There's an important item in there, is there? Oh, no, don't worry. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't know. That'll always crack me up.
You'll be okay.
No, your treasure will be fine. It's perfectly safe. So, that poor guy. Nope. It's going to get taken now. It's going to get taken in the future. It's pretty hopeless. Now, if you played Dragon Warrior 1, you know of the real importance of Remolder is the keys. Right, and so usually when you find Remolder, you take the little path around the river. Let me take that path around the river and let's go see what awaits us there. Oh, I didn't realize this. So if you go here, this is where where you would buy keys in Dragon Warrior 1. And this old man, unfortunately, he says he'd like to take a look at the magic key. Unfortunately, I didn't realize this. I sold the magic key, didn't I? I have a final key. I don't have a magic key. Oh. Usually, if you have the magic key, and I thought it happened with the final key too, but apparently not. I learn something new every time. He'll say like, "Oh, what a cool key! I should sell those." And you find out that the old man who sells magic keys in Dragon Warrior 1, he stole the idea of a king from a cat. A key from a cat. All those keys that you bought in Dragon Warrior 1 as a kid, they're just cheap knockoffs. Stolen. These poor cats got no credit. No credit for their ideas. So unfortunately, I didn't realize, I thought he'd do the same thing with the final key, but that's another nice little, kind of cute little callback that they have there too. Like I said, a lot of nice little references, and you know, they copied the world of Dragon. So this is the tablet cave from Dragon Warrior 1. They copied the world of Dragon Warrior 1, and they kind of, I want to say, upgraded a little bit. They put in a lot of nice little references, and did a really good job with it, I think. It's a real fun, even when you do have random encounters. We have the random encounters turned off, so it's real fun. We just get to waltz through it at will, but a lot of real fun little things in here, for sure. Now, Tablet Cave has a little extra addition to it that we're going to see right up here. And you might wonder, hey, that wasn't the original game. Nope, it sure wasn't. That will be taken care of later. Okay. So there are 5 treasure chests here. They could have our key items in them. So we'll check those out.
There's one of them.
Yes, indeed it is. So there's the stone. Now, that's also really cute, too. It's the Stone of Sunlight. In Dragon Warrior 1, it's the Stones of Sunlight. So at some point between this game and Dragon Warrior 1, the time of Dragon Warrior 1, someone dropped the Stones of Sunlight. This is also fun, too. I like doing this, too. If you fall into this pit, it just spits you right back up here. If you're wondering why it does that, stay tuned. I don't know if I
point for a little later.
It is. I don't know if I want to call that a bit of lazy programming, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know what else they'd have that pit do, I suppose. But that pit doesn't take you anywhere. Well, yes, that pit comes from somewhere. But it's kind of fun to just get thrown out. Yeah, to get thrown out by that pit one time for no particular reason. Probably very confusing the first time you play the game and you fall into that pit and you go like, ah, what's happening? Flying cats, but they landed on their feet.
As good cats do.
Absolutely. You don't have a problem if you know where we are. This is actually very familiar. It's probably the most familiar part of the game, right? You could have played any one of 2 games to know where we are right now. So here's Zoma's castle, and this is why we need the rainbow drops. We can create, just like in Dragon Warrior 1, so we can create a bridge to gain access to that castle. And hey, look. Whoops. It is the lovely, lovely town. You've been activated. It is the lovely town of Hawksness. It looks much better, much better than it did in Dragon Warrior 1, or does in Dragon Warrior 1. All kinds of people you can talk to here. Oh, the poor NPC is going to have a baby. Move! Move! Move to Remolder! And here's the weapon shop guy who's thinking of a name for his baby. Move! Sell your house in Hawksness. Move! This is also extremely random, too. I don't know why. It has nothing to do with Dragon Warrior 1, but it just cracks... For some reason, it cracks me up. This poor person. Old man who lives next door sneezes a lot. And you go talk to the old man, and he says, achoo. Who's spreading rumors about... I don't know why. That has nothing to do with Dragon Warrior 1. I don't know why that all just cracked me up. They threw that in there as a little... an extra little, I don't know, Easter egg or something. If that's... 80s Easter egg, I suppose.
They couldn't fit many into those games.
No, but they could fit funny little lines of dialogue in. Now, there is a purpose to Hawksness. There is one item. In the vanilla game, you would find Oricon, I believe it's called here. And Oricon helps you make the Sword of Kings. Well, we don't need a Sword of Kings. Those were sold for not very much money. But there is one search spot, and it just has leather helmet, so meh. It could have had a key item. It could have had something really helpful, but here, eh. We've got pretty good helmets. We have really good iron helmets for everybody, so we don't need to really worry about those. So on with our exploring. We've got one key item left to go, plus a Sphere of Light. So we'll go hunt for those. Oh, this is where we'll turn in our items for our rainbow drops. We're not quite ready for that yet. We still need the Staff of Rain. And there's a couple other fun little locations we can go to as well, so we definitely want to hunt those out. Oh, and here's one of them right now. This is Tantagle, or as I call it, Win the Game Town, because, spoiler alert, we're going to win the game here. It's not a very creative nickname. It's not. I'm not very good at nicknames. There's a couple of cute little things here that we can do as well. Couple cute little references that they put in as well, but first let me just see what's around. Okay. So, one that's sort of random and has nothing to do with Dragon Warrior 1 is up here. I mentioned Kandar. You saw earlier that we fought Kandar. We fought Kandar, and you fight him twice in the regular world, I guess I'll call it. You fight him twice. We only fought him once because we got to skip one of them, but he's kind of a thorn in your side. He always shows up at weird times, and he's always, oh, we need the golden crown. Oh, it's Kandar. Oh, we need the black pepper. Oh, it's Kandar. And if you come up here in Tantagle and you come upstairs, guess who's here in this room? Hey, it's me, Kandar. Somehow Kandar has also fallen through the pit, and he's just chilling above the House of Healing. He's still, poor guy, he dragged his chain and ball all the way up here. I don't know. He expresses his gratitude for us not killing him this time by giving us some information we didn't really need, but it's kind of cute that Kandar's there for, I don't know why he's there, how he got there. He escaped prison and ended up here. This is another neat one, too. Now, you'll notice as I just walk around here a little bit more, that Tantagle, actually, this is the town of Brecconary from the original game. From Dragon Warrior 1, this is Brecconary as I just sort of stroll through. This is what Brecconary would look like, and in Dragon Warrior 3, they combined the two together. They put Brecconary directly outside Tantagle. And in Brecconary, there was a fella, an old man, who would remove curses from you. And he was standing right about where this kid is. And if you talk to this kid, aw, he's studying how to lift curses. Cute. So again, another neat little, they didn't have to do that. They could have put nothing there, but a nice little attention to detail and just a cute little reference. And like I said, this Dark World's full of them. There's still, like I said, a couple more. It's me. I mean, Kandar's a hero. If he got his chain and ball and he somehow managed to escape all the way to here, that is pretty good. I gotta give him props for that. Now again, sorry.
If I can interject with something, this is a nice instance where they put a kid who doesn't get in the way.
Oh yeah, that's coming up.
But
in the next.
Yeah, Dragon Warrior 4 does.
Yes, indeed. Dragon Warrior 4 has an NPC kid that is not quite as charming as that one, but we will not speak of him.
Yes, that's the most we'll say. Put it that way.
So Tantagle has a treasury that has been upgraded a little bit, and here we've got our Sphere of Light. Technically not a key item, but it'll weaken Zoma, so it's useful. And so it's useful, Tantagle, other than having some cute treasure chests and all, or other than having some cute dialogue in it, does have 4 treasure chests that could have some of our key items. We still need a Staff of Rain, and it's not going to be here. Lakanaba kid. Yes, Talon's kid. Talon's kid has a way of getting in the way in Dragon Warrior 4 anyway. Now, one more nice little reference, nice little callback they had. This is where in Dragon Warrior 1, if you want the Stones of Sunlight, and actually in the vanilla game too, I believe. No, not in the vanilla game, sorry. Not in vanilla Dragon Warrior 3. But Kandar makes reference to the Stones of Sunlight, and you'd go, well, in Dragon Warrior 1, you'd go behind the castle, right? You'd go here to find them. And if you go there now, you find this fella who says, "What? The Stones of Sunlight? There's nothing like that here. But I had a dream that someone would leave the stones with me someday." So again, that's setting up for why are the Stones of Sunlight here? Well, apparently, after we win the game, we're going to leave the Stones of Sunlight with that guy, I guess. And he's had a dream about it, so it must be true. Again, another nice little... They did not have to do that, right? They didn't have to have anyone there. They could have, but they put that NPC with that cute little line, so... Oh, here's another one of our locations we can on our little tour here. This is the future site of Garenham. Garen is not dead yet, though, so there's no Garen's grave. There's no town memorializing him because he's not dead. But it is Garen's... I believe we've called it Garen's Villa? These people are not Garen. We already saw him in these are Garen's parents, but we already saw Garen himself in Cantlin. Are you looking for the silver harp? I mean, not really. We will be eventually, but not really. And just like in Dragon Warrior 1, you can go in the back here and find an item. Now, you don't find a whole dungeon, but you find an item. So this is also useful. This is also useful in that there could be a key item here, but it's just one treasure chest, and here we do not have a key item. Do we know how much time passes between 3 and 1? I want to guess maybe 100 years?
I think that's what they kind of point towards. I forget off the top of my head, but I believe that it is a century between the two.
Yeah, something like that, right? Now, this cave here, not useful for moving on, but once again, another instance of kind of the cute little references. Like I said, they're basically Easter eggs they threw in here. This is Swamp Cave from Dragon Warrior 1. It's very, very authentic. You can write down to, here's the, I'm coming in here just to show it off, here's the room where you'd find the princess being kept. Right? Where the green dragon is holding the princess right here. Right now there's some so yeah, if we just hung out here for, I don't know, what, 100 years or so, we could just rescue the princess right away. But yeah, Swamp Cave, and you sort of saw there as I'll wander down here and show. Swamp Cave has not yet been completed. So in the vanilla Dragon Warrior 3, you'd have to actually sail over to Remulder. But here, dig, dig, dig. I want to get to Remulder, and it's just, I don't know, like I said, it's another one of those that heave ho, heave ho. They don't have to. They didn't have to put this in there, but it's kind of cute that they put a half completed. They're in the process of digging out the, I guess I go iconic, Swamp Cave. So getting back to, we've had a nice little tour here. We've got a couple more locations left. As far as actually, I don't know, trying to win the game. We should probably do that at some point, right? Should we do that at some point?
Maybe.
I guess, right? It's so nice to have a nice, lovely stroll. The game's waiting for me to go to that party, and it's just so nice to have a nice, lovely stroll, not being harassed or anything by that encounter rate we were talking about earlier or anything. Oh, swamp? Nope, not going to bother me. Not going to bother me. I do need to find Mountain Cave, though. Mountain Cave is the last of our dungeons, and the last place that the Staff of Rain, that's the one we're missing, could be found. Oh. Well, in the meantime, we got one more stop on our little tour, though. And this is cute. This is, again, very, very extra lore that they didn't have to put in, but that they did. So this is the town of Cole. The village of Cole right now, actually. You can find an item in Cole, so Cole is useful. Now, in Dragon Warrior 1, it's 4 steps south of the bath. For some reason, in Dragon Warrior 3, it's 5. I don't know why. So it could be our Staff of Rain. In this case, it is not. But more interestingly than that, well, not from a correction standpoint, from a story standpoint, from a lore standpoint, all the lore you get here. So you get lots of lore. You get some RPGing at the beginning, you get some lore. All the questions you had about Dragon Warrior 1 answered. This person up here looks suspiciously out of place, and if we talk to her, when it looked like we're about to... So here's our Orochi again. They were set to be... They actually, this woman and her wife, and her husband, used to live in Jaipang, but they were selected to be sacrificed as the Orochi, so they fled. And her husband used to be a swordsmith in Jaipang. Interesting. Did he now? Now, in the vanilla game, you would actually go ahead and do this. We don't need to because, again, we already have the Sword of Kings. But if you have the Oricon, you can, I believe, sell it or something, and this guy will get you will craft you a Sword of Kings. Now, we don't have the Oricon, and we don't need it, and I was waiting for this guy to sell me an echoing flute. He amazingly does not. I was waiting for the last item shop in the game to finally be like, here, have an echoing flute now that it's useless. But that's where the Sword of Kings comes from, and the Sword of Kings will eventually be very, very big in Dragon Warrior 1. The Erdrick Sword is what that'll become. So, again, kind of interesting lore. They give a little background origin story. See, this is the first origin story back in the 80s, before they were popular. Origin story on Erdrick's Sword. It's actually a swordsmith in Jaipang. So the Orochi caused them to flee. When they fled, they fell down the hole, that pit that took them here. That's how we got the Erdrick Sword from Dragon Warrior 1. So
all starting to slowly come together.
It is. And I think that also mirrors... Mountain Cave was right next to this town that I forgot I passed by. And I believe that's also kind of a callback, right? Jaipang, of course, the reference to Japan, and it's on a Japanese-style looking island, too, in the vanilla game. Oh, hey, a Staff of Rain, huh? And so I think that's a call out to like, I always forget the name, but like the the blacksmith, the legendary blacksmith who crafted, the Massa Moon and all that. I always forget the name, but I think it's a vague call out to that too, or reference that too. Now we have the Staff of Rain, so I don't really have to go through here, but I feel like I always like pointing this out. This is Mountain Cave, and looks very familiar from Dragon Warrior 1. This is the one maybe quirk that always kind of made me wonder anyway. Very, very reminiscent of Mountain Cave from Dragon Warrior 1. It looks pretty much identical. Except for just a couple little weird corridors. I don't know why they decided to make these weird changes. And the one is really on the next floor, which is why I'm just going to show it off real quick before we press on here. This is all very identical, but normally what you'd do in Dragon Warrior 1, again, if you're familiar with Dragon Warrior 1, is you'd head up here, and this is sort of different, but you'd head up here and you'd go over here and you'd get your 2 treasure chests. You go, cool, treasure. And all this is the same except, hey, no treasure chests. What the heck? What the heck? And the treasure chest is not there. For whatever reason, they moved the treasure chests and they put them in this new little thing that never had anything in it before. So, a little weird that everything else was recreated so faithfully. Dang it, and it's a mimic. Of course, when you're showing off the mountain cave,
Wow,
games like...
of course it is.
Right? Games like, oh, you don't like our layout of our cave, huh, mimic? Sorry, your layout's fine, okay? There's nothing wrong with this layout, it's just different. It's so weird that they recreate everything so faithfully, and then they put a couple extra little corridors in here for whatever reason. So, I just wanted to show off that. Yeah, just wanted to show off that. I don't know. A little weird, but, I mean, it's our good old mountain cave. Now I just have to. I have to go. There's 2 more treasure chests in here. We don't need to get them, but I feel like at this point, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Because we have to see if they're both mimics. Okay, so these, again, we already have all of our key items, so we know... Oh, empty! That's pretty good. And a book, okay. No mimics, though. Alright, but we are... So that's our little tour of Alifgard and all of the cool little things in it. Like I said, it's kind of nice that we have this, I want to call it a bug or a glitch. It's not really a bug or a glitch. We have this way to make the game wait around and not give us random battles. So we can take a look at those things, because there are a lot of really cool things they put in here. But, time to go get our rainbow drop, and time to finish this thing. So we got our rainbow drop, and now, in the regular Dragon Warrior 3 game, you would go to the usual spot and use the rainbow drop. Here, we just use the rainbow drop at this handy little entrance here, this handy little gap in the mountains here. And we create the bridge to Zoma's castle, and we go try to make Zoma go away. Zoma's castle is another one that's a little bit strange. The top floor is an almost perfect recreation of the top floor of Charlotte Castle. If you are familiar with Dragon Warrior 1, this will look extremely familiar, except you'd say, wait a minute, Dragon Warrior 1, you can't go this way. Yeah, well, this is the earlier version of Charlotte Castle, so actually you can. The top floor looks very similar to Charlotte Castle. The bottom floors have undergone some renovations, apparently. Zoma keeps the bottom floors of the castle looking different than the Dragon Lord does, I guess. So this room here, these 6 statues are about to come to life. We get trapped, and we are going to have to defeat these 6 statues. This is not random encounters, so we still encounter boss battles and scripted battles. And these are definitely scripted, so we still get them, and we still have to take care of them.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a tarp. It's a tarp. We'll see if we can dispatch them kind of quickly. They were sort of annoying, I recall, but that was earlier. We've got a few more levels. And hopefully with Bykill and Mikey attacking twice, we can dispatch them without too much trouble. There's a sort of annoying attack, but not too bad. Now, I picked up a Sage's Stone earlier. This is our first chance. Nope, no it's not. I was going to say this is our first chance to check it out. We'll check it out. The Sage's Stone in the regular game casts Heal Us, which is nice. It, you know, in battle, which is nice. It gives you about, what, 50 to 60 HP per character. Nothing to scoff at. But this is Randomizer, where the healing spells are randomized. So that Sage's Stone, for all we know, could basically heal everyone back to full, which would be awesome. Could also give everyone 5 HP back, which is not so awesome. So we'll see if we get a chance here to use it and see what it's all about. Really need to move it to Mara, don't I? She seems to be the only one that can't really cause a whole lot of damage. Mara is the only one that hasn't really getting much strength, so she's going to be our spell support type character, while the other 3 just hack away and cause a whole bunch of damage to be done. Oh, a medical herb. Thank you, game. Thank you so much. Let's actually do that right now. Let's move the Sage's Stone over to Mara so she can take on her official support role. Okay. And again, just bothering, only really bothering to buy kill the guy with the Falcon Sword, the guy that attacks multiple times. And that should be enough. Here's a chance to use the Sage's Stone. We could use a little bit of healing, and it's not very good. It's too bad. Looks like it healed about 30 HP per. Not really useful in the Zoma fight, in the final boss fight. It's okay. I don't think we'll need it. Alright, so we can pick up a few more levels off those guys, which I was saying earlier, 22 is a little low, so those don't hurt. Kind of a lot of levels, but I won't complain. Now, I think we're coming up to my favorite room in the whole game, and I think this is, if I remember correctly, Fran, this is one of your favorites too?
Yeah.
Yep.
This was one that drove me batty as a kid, and then once once you learn the secret, it's just, oh man.
Now, we encountered some of these in the tower, and I didn't really mention them, but these things, these little tiles here, these diamond tiles, since we have a minute, are sort of annoying. What these diamond tiles mean, they rotate your axis, your directional pad. So if I'm standing on, say, this one right above me, and it's got the arrow lit up to the left, that means that I have to turn my controller 90 degrees to the left to get the true direction. So in this case, if I wanted to go to the left, I wouldn't actually hold left. Everything's been rotated. You'd actually want to hold up. And so that can be really annoying if you want to map your way through here, because if I want to try to get somewhere like I just did right there, I held left, and I forgot that I was on a tile, so now I'm who the heck knows where. And so I can imagine a lot of people going through and trying to map their way through it, right? Yeah, the secret. There you go. You remember the secret, right? Yeah. I'll just fall in the pit here. Doesn't matter. And if you get it wrong, you fall in this pit. And it's really annoying, because especially when you have random encounters on, you're getting battles all the time. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I don't know how I knew this. Apparently I don't know, it must have been like a Nintendo Power or something that spoiled it for me, or there's an NPC somewhere that I forgot about that tells us about it. Because the secret to this, trust me, as an 8-year-old kid, I did not have the patience to map out a route through here. But I can imagine the people who mapped out a route, because they probably mapped it out. Actually, when you map out a route, there's a faster way. But when you start mapping out, you go, oh, I have to hold up. Oh, I have to hold up. Oh, I have to hold up again. And if you just hold up, which I'm doing right now. Yep. Just a nice, calm walk through all the weird conveyor tiles. Just hold up. I don't know how I learned that. I don't know where that came from, but yes, once you know the secret, it's amazing. There is a faster way through there. There's a faster route through there if you're looking to save like 2 or 3 seconds, but I mean, the just hold up route is so wonderful. And it's such a troll too. When you realize what you have to do, it's such a troll. It looks so intimidating. You realize like, oh, hold up, huh? Okay. It's beautiful. The swag path it's called? Okay, yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. There's my key.
The pun's not just for cats anymore.
I was trying to work a cat pun into the maze pun, but I'm not good enough, so. Now we're coming up to the last little bit of sort of story that they tie together here. Oh wow, look, someone is fighting. Well, it looks like Orochi, but it's King Hydra. Who could that be? It's a hero fighting a monster alone. It's on the up and up, nice. It's an Ortega! Oh no. Poor Ortega. Ortega is our father, our long-lost father. He apparently made it this far, and he died to the King Hydra. In Randomizer, I don't remember if it's this way in the regular game too, but in Randomizer, he's given 1 HP, so if he doesn't kill the Hydra on his first attack, sorry. And he asks us to, as cats, he asks the cats to deliver a message to him. So he's really been knocked senseless. He's not really sure what's happening. He sees some cats. He's like, hey, cat, I need you to travel this other world and tell my kids something. Okay. Catacomb. Nice. Catacomb. Oh, of course. Well done. Well done. Yeah, 40 HP. One will take him out, right? One single HP will. Yeah, at the beginning of the game, we saw him get dragged into a volcano. Thought he was dead, but nope, he is alive. He made it. Whoops. Yeah, maybe it's better Ortega doesn't know. What do you mean my kids are cats? Wait, I'm so confused. Alright, so this is going to start the final boss rush here.
That was one crazy night in the alley.
Oh man, let's not even. Yeah, let's not even talk about that. Here's Zoma, probably the most ridiculous sprite ever. I think we decided he's wearing drapes. Looks like a little train track around his neck, or like those toy train tracks, or like model railroad tracks around his neck. And I'm pretty sure it's a lampshade on his head. Fortunately, when we actually battle him, the sprite when we battle him is much better. But this, Zoma, don't do that. Don't do that. And let's see, do we get a... oh no, just thrive on the suffering. I thought there was a food reference in there as well, but not quite. So here's the King Hydra that killed our dad. We should get some revenge on him. This boss rush is actually kind of nice because, Granite Titans are okay. It's kind of nice because if we find out we're a little low on levels, well, whenever we come in here, we'll get 3 mini-bosses. I call them mini-bosses. 3 bosses to kill before Zoma that give us a lot of experience and a lot of levels. So if you're looking for safety levels, this place is good. Let's see. Actually, Ortega can live in both the regular game and in this. If Ortega gets the first action, he can kill the Hydra, but either way, it ends the same. He just says, like, oh, he used the last of his strength and is dying now. Okay. Oh, he has a... there you go, the cat cone of shame. That's what Zoma has. Good call. Alright, so we've got another boss fight coming up here, so we'll heal up. This is where it's nice that the regular old heal spell has a lot of power, so I don't have to use up too much MP. And here's Baramos' back. Oh no. It's... So Zoma's patterns aren't randomized. We know what Zoma's going to do. We don't really know what these mini-bosses are going to do, and sometimes they end up being the real final bosses because sometimes they have, like, sacrifice. We saw plenty of sacrifice earlier. This one, sort of annoyingly, has heal all. Let's see if we can kill him before. Oh, he has heal us all, too. And we don't seem to have... Oh, no, we do have stop spell. Here it is. So we can try to stop spell him. I wouldn't mind the safety levels, so there we go. There's a deflected spell. Oh, no. Oh, no. You are mean when you get stop spelled, aren't you?
Ooh.
He's not friendly. Hopefully he will, hopefully he'll waste his time casting healing instead. Yeah, poor Mara is going to be our support character for sure. She cannot get more than 1 or 2 strength, so she is... And we never really found a really good weapon for her, so she is going to be, relegated to the support roles. Actually, she will be very useful. I'm pretty sure I saw it checking there. She'll be actually extremely useful in the Zoma fight, now that I think about it. So we will see that in a second. Now, there's a little bit of story here that they don't do a good job of explaining. We just killed Baramos, and it took me a while to sort of figure out what was happening. But we killed Baramos, and our next boss fight. I remember when I was a kid, I was always like, oh, there's just 3 bosses, and never really connected this together, because they never really say anything about it. Let's heal up for the next one here. Whoops, I I want to cast Christo's Heal All, and I forget, like, Heal will do just as good a job. So, the next one here, you go here, and there's another third boss, and you go, oh, is there? And I guess what apparently happened was we defeated Baramos, and they're like, oh, we're gonna, and I guess, like, the idea, if you imagine this in, like, a current game, would be like, oh, you defeat Baramos, let's go kill Zoma, but oh no, Baramos' skeleton pops out of his corpse and now is attacking us, like that sort of dramatic thing. I think that's what they're going for. They never really explain it there, so I never figured out that's what they're going for as a kid. I was just like, there's 3 enemies here, whatever. But that's what they're going for.
Yeah, Gonus.
Yeah, I don't know what Gonus, but anyway. Yeah, so Mara's going to heal all herself here. Remember that, because that'll be very useful in a bit. Mikey's also going to do 300 damage. Excellent. There you go, so we'll pick up a couple more safety levels here. Now, the bosses in front of Zoma can be randomized, but we know what Zoma's going to do. Zoma's not randomized. And we have a couple things we can do to make Zoma go away fairly quickly. So first, let's get our Zoma strategy in order. We want to use the Sphere of Light, and I would like to outturn him, I hope. It'd be kind of nice if we could outturn him. Zoma's really powerful. Whoops. Zoma's really powerful until you use the Sphere of Light on him. That weakens him. So I'm going to look for my character with the highest agility, and it appears to be Ragnar, which is sort of convenient. It is Ragnar. Okay. So we'll go with Ragnar and using the Sphere of Light. Now, Ragnar's agility is not great. He's very likely to get outturned by Zoma, so we're very likely to take 1 round of damage, of like full power Zoma damage. So we're going to have also queued up a Heal Us All to fix that. Let's do the Wizard's Ring on Mikey because he's a little low on HP. This is our last fight coming up, so we're just going to burn the Wizard. I haven't used the Wizard's Ring yet for kind of fear that it's going to break. But we're just going to burn it now. We'll see how much we get out of it. Mikey has Heal Us All in battle, and I wouldn't mind having more than one of those at my disposal. And apparently I might get up to 3. Okay. Maybe past that? Maybe it's just never going to break. Okay, cool. Sure, up to full, up to full. Excellent. Okay. So our strategy here at the beginning... Oh, well, first I should probably heal people back up to full before we... Oh. Okay. Our strategy here at the beginning is just going to be to weaken him using the Sphere of Light and keep ourselves from dying. We have Ragnar's HP is a little questionable. I'm not super thrilled with it. He could die to a full power Zoma attack, which would be annoying. But I think at 233, he's fairly likely to survive. If we get a double bad Zoma attack. So let's just go and try this here. Yeah, we can Wizard's Ring all night long, too. Alright, so Mikey's going to have our first... I'd like to buy-kill him, but he's, I think, the only one with buy-kill. So we're going to have Mikey get our Heal Us All prepared. We're going to have Ragnar Sphere of Light Zoma to weaken him. And, oh, Christo has Heal Us All, too. When did that show up, I wonder? I thought I checked and didn't see it there. Well, in that case, let's change our strategy a little bit here. Let's have Mikey buy-kill himself. Because we want to get that buy kill. I like getting that buy kill on our double attacking character. I mean, we'll have Christo heal us all in case we take a lot of damage. Now, here's the other fun part too. Zoma can be healed for damage, although only after he's been Sphere of Lighted. So I'll try it here. Hopefully, this goes after the Sphere of Light. If it goes before, it's not going to do anything. But hopefully, here we go. Oh, so Zoma's outturning Ragnar, and Ragnar survives. That's good. And yeah, the Heal All went before the Sphere of Light, so it did not damage him. But now that the Sphere of Light's hit, we can damage him with Heal All, so Mara's going to actually start dealing a lot of damage. And the Sphere of Light's there. We got our Heal Us All from Christo, so everyone's healed back. Mikey's buy-killed, so it is time to give Zoma a really bad night. Sap him, so we do even more damage. He can do this Blinding Light thing, which will take all status effects off, but we'll still try to sneak a Sap in. And now when we heal him, we're going to do some damage. So Mara is about to inflict lots of damage by healing Zoma. There it is, 147. Oh, so there's his freezing beam. So unfortunately, that means that all of our buffs are gone. Let's just go ahead and let's just do this. Let's not worry about the buy kill. we'll just go with the sap and the heal alls. Probably good enough. Okay, that's a little annoying. Okay, we're okay, except for probably Ragnar needs a heal all, so we will... We can just do a regular heal, I think. That. Nah, let's not mess around. Let's be safe here. I say probably get away with a regular old heal, but let's not mess it up now. Let's just go with the heal all. So there's the freezing beam. So he took the sap off of himself. Fight. Critsto definitely can do with just a heal. I do want to try to get as many of these heal alls on Zoma as we can, because that does a lot of damage to him. Okay. Oh, okay. There we go. It did all the damage to him, apparently. And that'll be that. So we defeat Zoma, and now, remember that tablet cave? Here we go. Zoma's castle starts crumbling. Oh no, poor kitties. Pew.
Don't worry, they'll land on their feet.
They land on their feet. There's that pit that spits you back out again. We can fall in it again if you'd like. Yeah, that Zoma didn't seem to have much HP. I think Zoma might have... Oh no, Zoma's randomized, huh? We must have done more damage to him than I thought. Yeah, that heal all does a lot of damage to him. It always surprised me how much damage that heal all does, so... And how effective it can be against Zoma. So this is why you can't cast spells in Tablet Cave ever, because they don't want you casting spells here. This extra little portion that you say like, hey, that's not part of Tablet Cave. Nope, it sure isn't. There it goes. There it goes. See ya, Tablet Cave. And now Tablet Cave is in its Dragon Warrior 1 glory. Oh, that's true, there's no treasure there. We'll eventually be back, I guess, well, not in this game, but I guess at some point in the next 100 or so years we'll be back to leave a tablet in there, inspiring future generations, but not tonight. So our cats have been successful, they've defeated Zoma, and now we just have to walk outside a Tablet Cave. And this is probably what really inspired Cat% the most, is the end of this game. It's quite wonderful as cats. Reveal too. The big reveal that... Wow, yes, we're a true hero. What should you call us? What would be a good name? What rolls off the tongue? Erdrick. Yes, Erdrick. How about you call me Erdrick? And there's the big reveal at the end that we are...
These are the things that pop into my head at 4:30 in the morning.
At 4:30 in the morning. All right. Well, there you go. They give us a little bit of text crawl there to remind us, or to just drive home the point that yes, indeed, we are Erdrick. All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap it up here. I think, I think I've seen the connections been popping in and out, but you're just missing some amazing mountains and credits. Oh, here we go. So Fran, unless you've got anything to add in before we take off here tonight.
I think that is going to wrap it up. Thank you here to RPG Limit Break. Ryguy, thank you for letting me chime in as much as I can here on a zombified state here. I feel like a zombie cat in a sense. And thank you to the folks who have put all of this together, the side quest, Questing for Glory. It's been fantastic so far, and plenty more still going on.
Absolutely. That reminds me, we didn't see any zombies in this seed. Who knows what they would have done to us, especially at this early hour. This is their prime time. But yes, thank you absolutely to RPG Limit Break and to SideQuest. It was real fun bringing this. This is a fun run, of course. Randomizer makes it a little easier than the vanilla game. The vanilla game, if you've ever run it before, is tough. But this is a fun one for sure. This is a fun version of it. And thank you for letting me show it off to you all. And I hope you all enjoyed.